they're doing.
Hey, man. Hey. Hey.
He fussing. He wants you back, sister.
Hey. Sabbath.
We can give it a couple minutes.
It's the Sabbath. It's the Sabbath.
In 6 days he finished his creations. All that's in the heavens, all that's in the earth. The seventh day he sanctified and made it holy. Moses holy. This day was being born sign between him and Jacob. Established as a covenant and all our brothers. Israel was keeping. As the most honorable day treated as a delight. The Sabbath began when the 6th day loses life.
She said when I'm free, I'm going to come with her. Yeah, that's it.
But they are ready not be so own flesh. A holy convocation. That's a holy gathering.
They really do.
Anticipation for a spiritual measure that Ahayah gives us.
Let me see if that clear up.
Committed not to buy and sell. I want to go to church.
It look clear on her.
Playing with your wife, hope you heed the warning. Seek and do the things that please Ahayah only. Gather with his people, have a good time. Break bread, drink wine. It's time to cast away the cares of this world for another day. It's clear enough.
Oh, it is?
Another day.
Okay. I was about to say.
Oh, thank you.
After the song, y'all, we're gonna open the prayer.
The holy days in the Bible are Sabbaths too. Jubilees and it's new moons. Know your pastor probably told you Sabbath any day. Take heed of what Moses said. Let's open this Bible. Exodus chapter 31, starting at verse 13. Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, verily my Sabbaths ye should keep. For it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am Ahayah that do sanctify you. For ye should keep the Sabbath therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defileth should surely be put to death. And whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul should be cut from among his feet. 6 days may work.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
The seventh is the Sabbath of rest. Holy to Ahayah. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he should be put to death. Wherefore the children of Israel should keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations, for a perpetual covenant. Leviticus chapter 23, the middle of 32, from evening unto evening shall ye celebrate your Sabbath.
All right, family, open the prayer, y'all. Let's open the prayer, family. Oh, slug. Come up, son. What would you lead the prayer?
Come.
No, pray, son. Come.
Our Father,
Our Father,
who art in heaven,
who art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Ahayah, assure Ahayah.
Ahayah, assure Ahayah.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done
on earth.
on earth
As it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day
Our daily bread.
our daily bread.
Forgive us of our debts.
Forgive us of our debts
As we forgive.
as we forgive
Our debtors.
our debtors.
And lead us not.
And lead us not
Into temptation.
into temptation,
But deliver us.
but deliver us
From all evil.
from all evil.
For yours is the kingdom.
For yours is the kingdom,
And the power.
and the power,
And the glory.
and the glory,
Forever.
forever.
By Hashem Yahshua.
By Hashem Yahshua.
Amen.
Aman. Shema.
Shema.
Yasha'al.
Yasha'al.
Ahayah.
Ahayah.
Ahayah now.
Ahayah now.
Ahayah.
Ahayah.
Akar.
Akar.
Shema.
Shema.
Yasha'al.
Yasha'al.
Ahayah.
Ahayah.
Ahayah now.
Ahayah now.
Ahayah.
Ahayah.
Akar.
Akar.
Shema.
Shema.
Yasha'al.
Yasha'al.
Ahayah.
Ahayah.
Ahayah now.
Ahayah now.
Ahayah.
Ahayah.
Akar.
Akar.
Hear, O Israel.
Hear, O Israel.
Ahayah, our power is one.
Ahayah, our power is one.
By Hashem Yahshua. Amen.
Hashem Yahshua. Amen.
Good. All right, family. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let a song play. That's that is really exemplifies the lesson today. No, cool. I got 12 hours sleep yesterday. I am reset.
12?
Good. 12.
6-hour lesson.
6 hours less. I was exhausted. I was exhausted.
Hey, Joey. Ain't got all that popcorn.
Now this song here is this sums up the whole lesson though.
You don't stand for something, you don't fall for anything. Nation conspired together, keep up the scene. Who we are in the scriptures, we come with a promise. We ain't obedient to our God, we'll be a curse. In the wilderness, our fathers made a covenant. Promise our God that they'll keep his commandments. But some of the consequences of the curse was being blotted out. How long the years of oppression was brought about. Global conspiracy considered to the country council. Behind the smash of the church of Israel. Take over our churches, keep us in captivity. Divide us nation, took our life energy. And I wonder why history, that was slavery. Psychological magic, carnal history. Shadow slavery brought about many miseries. The willingness never executed to the sea.
But Shalom family.
Shalom.
To Kadah? Yada? All praise to Ahayah. I don't know if you know where you can get our music from, but if you go to YouTube, Elder Ma'ah, M-A-A-D, there's a bunch of songs that we have done. So anyone who listens to music is very edifying, and it's all praising and giving glory and honor to the Most High. I gotta check you out. You said that you got a song coming out tonight. I'm gonna check you out. See what it is. Anyway, let's get it. Shabbat Shalom, as I just said, family.
Shabbat shalom.
How everybody doing?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. This is the best I felt in I don't know how long, bro. Like, I really been exhausted. And
All praise.
yesterday I told my wife, I said, I gotta get some sleep. She said, go take a nap, baby. I slept from like literally like 5:30 to 5:30.
Good.
Then I got this morning, did the lesson, went back to sleep. Good.
Praise. All praise.
It really feel like I hit like the reset button. I feel good. My headache gone, all that stuff. So, yeah. I want to give all honor and praise to the Most High Ahayah. Like I see the young ladies came. That's a true blessing. And I was just telling your teacher, we call him brother Azariah. Okay, that's his Hebrew name, Azariah. But the spirit of the Most High, is wonderful. When the lessons come, you never know why the Most High is giving the lessons that He's giving. When I looked at it, like, man, this is like Hebrew 101. Like, we know this stuff, you know what I'm saying? But we always be mindful how precious His children are, right? And when I saw the young sister come in, I'm like, man, the Most High is awesome. You know, because the title of the lesson is "The Curses Are for a Sign and a Wonder." A lot of people don't understand what a sign and a wonder means, right? Christ, before he departed, He said that these things would happen for a sign. So these things that would be occurring upon earth would be a sign that you know that these signs testify of the truth of the Most High. That what He said is faithful and is true, right? But there's a people of the Bible that He has chosen to be His special possession, what He calls a peculiar people. That means a special treasure to Him. But because of their disobedience, the things that these people will be suffering throughout the four corners of the earth will be a sign that these are the people that He had taken unto Himself and became their God, and we His people. But these things that we're suffering are the exact same things that He said we'd be suffering because we rejected His laws, statutes, and His commandments. And no wonder, it would be apparent that we are the people. And especially for the young people, because you all are really living the curses. What y'all see in your classrooms, in your schools, on social media, in your environment, is truly a product of the curses. Testifying that you are the people of God. And a lot of people don't understand what that means because we have gone so far away from our God that our children don't even know the Most High. So we're talking about these curses, these promises of this Bible. They don't even know who the Most High is. So we can say, you're the children of Israel. What does that mean to them? They never even heard of Israel. And that's why I'm thankful for this lesson today, because I pray that it penetrates the hearts of the youth. Because the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of the Israelites, which will rule the earth forever, it's for the children. Just like in former times, the old folks didn't make it to the promised land. The children did. Right? That's what Christ says. The kingdom is for the children. But so I pray that. Oh, guess what today it is too? So-called Black History Month, right? So we're gonna get some real Black history out this Bible. Okay, this is the real so-called Black history. This Bible, right? Not the stuff that schools and government teach us, but this book right here is called the Hebrew Scrolls, is our real history, right? This is our heritage. It's about our God, our people, our real history. It had nothing to do with some artists that used to sing or dance, right? No person. Your history has nothing to do with someone that invented something, someone that created a song. What do they do with your culture? All nations have a God. What did that got to do with your God? What are they teaching you about your God and the responsibilities of your God? There's only one God that has responsibilities that's required of His people. law, statutes, judgments, commandments. And that's the God of the Hebrews. Satan and his army, the fallen angels, they're lawless. Satan is the Lord of disobedience. So his laws are for you to do as thy will and be disobedient to the God that created the heavens and the earth. Okay? Which is who we failed to in the wilderness. Which is who we failed to in the promised land. Zion. Jerusalem. Okay? And who we still serve as it is this day. Okay? So let's get it. I am Elder and Brother Ahayah. This is Brother Baruch from Waking Up Ahayah Church. I'm here to present you another lesson on the Sabbath. This high holy day. Title once again is The Curses Are for a Sign and a Wonder. So let's get it. First precept, chapter 27, Deuteronomy, verses 9 through 10. Kind of when everyone is there.
And it reads, And Moses and the priests, the Levites, spake unto all Israel, saying, Take heed and hearken, O Israel, this day thou art become the people of Ahayah thy God.
See that? We'll become the people. If what? If we listen to him. See, this is the only God that requires you to do as he say. Only God. Okay? You know, it's amazing, right? I was looking into some that's outside of the subject, but it's still into the subject. I sent it to a few of you all. But this conscious movement that's really tearing apart our communities. This conscious movement, this chemic movement, right? It's practically hilarious to me. Like you get brothers like Polite, you know, these brothers, you got this brother Umar Johnson, you know, and to our people who are unlearned of this in this Bible, they sound very educated, right? We got members of our own church looking at their lessons, right? And they saying like, man, no, this brother makes sense. It sounds good. But do your research on these people. These people worship the dead. They're sorcerers. They are wizards. Brother said ancestors, those are dead. Your ancestors are our ancestors right now. Majority of them are in hell getting tormented right now for disobedience. But we're going to worship them. We're going to follow them. Why not follow the righteous in this Bible? Okay? So I personally seen myself that when I was coming in this, was like they are investigating this, investigating that, you know, and I'm seeing Brother Umar, you know, chanting all these names from the past, and I'm like, none of these people was servants of the Most High. Anyway, when did the Most High say for us to do this? That's called what? Necromancy? Which is what? A form of witchcraft, which he hates. But to our people who don't know the Bible or the law, 7 commandments, these brothers sound like how the Bible said that through their fair speeches they have deceived us. Because they sound like they're educated. Right? So our children have gone astray. Right? They're following these people's nonsense. But the funniest thing to me of all, okay? I gotta show this picture. I'm sorry. Check this out. These are the people. Some of these people are always criticizing our Bible, right? Saying that it's a white man's book and all this, right? That's why it's always good to do your research. When I read this, I literally almost fell on the floor in laughter. I heard people like going hard on the Bible. Y'all got this. Y'all got command. Y'all eat your own people. All kind of stuff. It's the white man. It's the white man. It's the white man. The black woman, God. All that stuff, right? There's a white woman named Tamara. How you say that? Sweeter, whoever she is.
Sweeter.
Let me get a picture of
Like
her.
that.
Who started this whole Kemet thing. She's the mother of the religion. Right?
I'll Google it.
Yeah. I had the picture of the chick. I'm like, isn't that ironic though? You chastise, critique our Bible, but you're following a white woman. Right? And it says, Kemet orthodoxy is a modern religion based on Kemetism, which is a reconstruction of ancient Egypt religion. It was founded in 1988 by Tamara Sahadu, who remains in current. You got a picture of it? Show that. Show me that.
Trying to break this up. That's the founder of the Kemet orthodoxy, the new age Kemet religion that everybody's practicing now.
Sure.
I'm going somewhere with this.
It says she's the head of the house of Nader, which is like what they call all their gods, and that's like their highest name for the worship of their gods. The Nader and the what's the other one? I can't remember the other one, but it's like the Nader and it's something else, Ma'at or something like that. Yeah, the Nader and the Ma'at. So she's the head of their whole everything.
Right. Now check it out. Got a lot of people believing that we're Egyptians because they were black people. Could be black people. Okay? And it's crazy because when you look on the walls in Egypt, you see black slaves with black slave masters or, task masters. Who are the other black people that's in slavery? Did the Egyptians ever enslave their own people? Does the Bible say that who was in slavery in Egypt?
Israelites.
The Israelites. Mm-hmm. So they just deny the fact that because we black, we Egyptians. Like these are only black people on earth. Right? But check it out. But now they got us going back to serving the same gods that we're commanded not to serve. Okay? So look, I'm going to show you their symbol. I was just there. I was just right there. Show the sun. Well, I said the ankh, right? So you see how people right now with all these ankhs and stuff around your neck, that kind of stuff. But let me read what the Bible say about that, though, right? Leviticus chapter 18. I'm gonna start at verse 1. And Ahayah spake unto Moses, saying, "Speak unto the children of Israel, right? And saying to them, I am Ahayah your God. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwell, shall ye not do." Isn't it amazing how a stranger or a Gentile has deceived our people to go right back into the same thing we went into captivity in Egypt for? Even believing that we are these people. The Most High has commanded us not to. First of all, we're not Egyptian at all. We're not Africans. We're Israelites. Okay, that's our nationality. We're the children of Israel. Okay, so it says after the doings of the land of Egypt. What doings was the land of Egypt doing? Paganism. They served multiple gods. Ra, Osiris, Horus, right? Isis, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whether I bring you, ye shall not do. Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. Their traditions, their holidays, their traditions, we are not to follow. Now, our brother who sound very intellectual, getting us to go right back. Okay? For lack of knowledge, our children don't understand this. It says, verse 4, you should do my judgments and keep my ordinances, his holy days, to walk therein. I am Ahayah, your God. So children, don't get deceived with this Egyptology stuff, this Kemet stuff. It's a mess. And like if you just research it and see. So if I was not one scripture, and then at the end of the day, it's all based on your own interpretation. But it's witchcraft at its finest. Okay? Let's get back to the lesson though. Where we at? Deuteronomy 27?
Verse 10.
Verse 10.
Deuteronomy chapter 27, verse 10. Thou shalt therefore obey the voice of Ahayah thy God, and do his commandments.
See, when it says obey the voice of the Most High God, that's what people don't understand. His voice is his law. His voice is the law. It's not just 10 commandments. What he says is the law. We are the children of Israel, not the Egyptians, not the Asians, no other race of people is he talking to. He's talking to the Israelites. He says, start over in verse 9.
And Moses and the priests, the Levites, spake unto all Israel.
This is when he made the covenant with our people. Okay? The covenant. This day, when he spake from the mount, we got into a contract with the Most High God. A covenant. Okay? Read.
Take heed and hearken, O Israel, this day thou art become the people of the Most High thy God.
So we have become the people of the Most High God. So with that comes responsibilities. A lot of us just walk around boasting that we're the children of Israel, we're the children of God, but that's just who we are as a nationality, and we're in a covenant. But in every contract, there's do's and don'ts. Now it's time for us to learn the do's and the don'ts. Okay? Not just that we are children of God, but we have to learn the do's and don'ts. Read.
Thou therefore shalt obey the voice of Ahayah thy God.
We must obey the contract. We must obey the author of the contract. Okay? Read.
And do his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day.
So that's the foundation right there. Okay? So now it's time for our youth and for our people, even the people with the gray hairs. Because all our life we've been told that his laws don't matter no more. His laws was just so hard. Our God was just so evil. He gave us all these impossible laws for us to follow. So now, because he loves us so much, he's making it easy for us. We can be lawless and sinners. We can do whatever please us. That's not what the contract says. Right? The author of the contract said his laws are not grievous. They're not hard. And the book says that it wasn't the laws. It was the heart of the people. Okay? It was the heart of the people. They wanted to do evil. They wanted to do as they did in Egypt. They wanted to be fornicators, liars, murderers, homosexuals. See? Read.
Next precept, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1 and 2, verse 9 and 13 through 15.
So with obedience to this contract come promises, land, dominion, Okay, blessings. With disobedience to this contract come curses, captivity or slavery, oppression, death. Read.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Most High thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Most High thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Let's start right there. This lesson is for the layman. For someone who has no idea about this Bible. For someone who don't know who they are. If you're so-called African American, so-called Mexican, Puerto Rican, Jamaican, Native American, Haitian, it's like we're scattered through the minority of the earth. Right? A lot of our brothers want to go off skin color. We can't go off skin color. Ephraim, the northern kingdom, Ephraim represents the northern kingdom in the prophets. When you read about Ephraim in the book of the prophets, it's referring to the northern kingdom. So he would mix with the nations. So we have people way in China and India. And a lot of folks you don't see on TV. They're hidden. And they look just like me and you. Okay? So when you see China, all you see these people who look lighter than us. But there's some people in China that look like me and you. Brother. In India. In Australia. In Hawaii. Okay, across the four corners of the earth. But then there's a lot of us, through slavery, these Gentiles love our women. Okay? So they've been mixing with us for a long time. So it's not important, ultimately, to going off of skin color. Because whoever you are, even if you're a Gentile, the premise of it all is to keep his laws and commandments. Okay? Whoever you are, even a Gentile, can gain salvation. The saving of their soul from the wrath of the God Almighty, Ahayah. Okay? But this covenant didn't go to the Gentiles. It only went and refers to Israelites. We have a responsibility to be a light, to be a guide to the nations, to the Gentiles. Non-Israelites, or people of the stock of this covenant, of God of this covenant. Okay? So let's keep going.
Verse 2. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy God.
See, this is the craziest thing, right? Before I get there, when I say stock, that means root. Right? So these Israelites come from a root, a people. Okay? He created a nation, a great nation that is prophesied in Abraham. Okay? But these are the people that the Most High has dealt with forever. But here's the ironic thing, though. For all you churchgoers, all of us have gone to church and have repeatedly, over and over again, heard, and we're here tomorrow about the Lord's gonna bless you. That's true. But here's how and why he will bless you. They're teaching you a half-truth. Read that again, brother.
And all these blessings shall come on thee.
All these blessings shall come on you, right? But it says in verse 1, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently, listen diligently, unto the voice or the laws of Ahayah thy God, to observe and do all his commandments. That's the part the churches ain't teaching. They say, what? You sold to the church, the Lord gonna bless you. Shalom, my brother. Right? You pay your tithes, the Lord gonna bless you. Is that what this Bible just said? What did it say?
See, if you listen.
If you observe, you diligently listen and do all his commandments. But the churches don't care about no commandments but one. Tithes. It said all the commandments. Then it said what? And all these blessings shall come upon thee. Okay? Not if you just tithe, the Lord gonna bless you. But then, truthfully, there's blessings outside of monetary. Okay? One of the blessings was, now check it out. We've been deceived to think a blessing is a couple of dollars. But the Bible says, if this people, us, kept his laws, statutes, commandments, and do them, check out what comes to us. He said that Ahayah, our God, will set us on high above all nations of the earth. What does that mean? What does that mean, my brothers and sisters?
Dominion over the earth.
Dominion, rulership, your rule, and if you set on high, that means that you are in possession, control of all the resources on the earth. Other nations will have to come to us for all things. Now, is that a blessing?
It's a blessing.
Biggest blessing.
It's a great blessing.
Or it's a couple of dollars. You know, you waiting for it, hit the numbers or something, because Pastor gave you a number. Right? But you see what the Bible says contrary to what the pastors say? There's stipulations to these blessings. Right? Let's keep reading, bro. Where we at?
Verse 9. The Most High shall establish thee an holy people unto himself.
The Most High shall what? Establish us as a holy people. Now this is to establish something, that takes work. Remember, our people just came out of slavery in a land of pagans, right? In a land of pagans, right? People who doing outside what the Most High commands, serving other gods. Right now, you see Egypt right now, people want to go see these big old false gods, right? Big old, here's the thing, right? The Most High hates idolatry. Some of the greatest fame of the Egyptians are these false gods. These big old statues of these men and these so-called pharaohs and these lions and stuff, right? If they was gods, how can someone shoot their nose off? Seriously. How can someone destroy them? They was gods. This is what the Most High is angry with us for. I watched the movie yesterday, 2 days ago. 2 days ago. I slept yesterday, I said. 2 days ago with my wife, and I said, look at the Northern Kingdom. Y'all think we playing. Look at the Northern Kingdom. In the Bible, it says, look, Ephraim is hot, right, for idolatry. Look at Issachar, right? We're watching this one sister. You can't even count the amount of idols that she had surrounding her with little candles lit, praising and praying to her God. Catholicism, like them Catholics, ain't no joke. The Native Americans, they are heavy into worshiping the creation. Things that was created, not the creator. Even Judah, even the southern kingdom, us, Judah, Benjamin, right? Levi now. We're worshiping physical things. Every church you go to, Satan has left his mark. You got a cross made of wood. Even the fashion it with gold, that is shining now. The Most High commanded us not to grave any image, anything that represents anything in heaven, on earth, or under the sea. So what are your little Jesus doing up on the wall? If you're a church of God, see, the Bible says keep his commandments. What commandment is that? That's like the first, second commandment? Second commandment? Check it out. Verse 4 says, Exodus chapter 20, verse 4, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above. Where's Christ? Heaven. The Bible says Christ is in heaven, sitting on the right hand of the Most High. Why is he in your churches, so-called in your churches? Why is the image of so-called the Messiah in your churches? So Christ came down to so you can break the law and do what his God and Father said don't do, huh? People will kill you over their Jesus, though. I grew up, my grandmama had a picture of this little white dude in the kitchen. I'm a lying mom. Right there. I can still see it with all these flowers, these plants in the kitchen. That little white Jesus was up on the wall, though. No, it wasn't in the kitchen, it was in the living room. In the kitchen? Yep, up in the kitchen. White dude, though. People don't understand the importance, the significance of imagery. So we grew up believing that our Messiah was white. So if Christianity, which gave us the white folks, Edom, the Romans, who killed our Lord and Savior, right, gave us their religion called Christianity. But our people would not believe that. They swear that Christianity is of the Bible, right? They will argue up and down, right? Revelation chapter 1 verse 14 says, talking about Christ, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. So it's talking about he had an afro, okay? It's not saying he was a white dude, okay? Wool, like an afro, right? As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. And his feet were likened to fine brass. Ever seen a penny? Penny is not white. His feet likened to fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. The brother was dark, skinned. So why did we grow up looking at a black Messiah? Because it would make us subservient to the so-called, psychologically, to the so-called people of God. If God is white, his son is white, the people of God must be white, which is how we bought into the lie that the so-called Jewish people over there are God's people. But check this out. This lesson today is going to prove that they are not the people of God. Okay? Hands down. They are having never suffered the curses that we're about to get into. The Holocaust, the fake Holocaust, is not in the Bible. That's one event that they staged. But it don't fit the curses, even so. Okay? We're going to get to it right now. Okay? So, all in all, through this deception of Christianity, we will go back and serving the gods of the nations that we're scattered amongst, which is prophesied, okay? Which our people would not believe. If it like me, the Bible said, look, let's say let's say if it's possible, talk to a person let's say if a child was born, you was able to have an intelligent conversation with a child. Newborn. Let's say you can talk to a child, newborn like you talking to you right now, brother. And you will tell them, I read this book. It said this people will come into the land and serve other gods. Not the God of their fathers, but other gods. Why is it so hard for us to understand that we the people that came over here to this land on slave ships, as the Bible prophesied we would do? Why can they believe that the gods our slave master gave us are the gods that we're serving? But you believe the word of God, though. Does not the word of God say that we get into all these lands and in all the kingdoms of the earth, we will serve their gods? So why is it hard for us to believe that Christianity is the wood? Islam is the stone that was prophesied.
Sad, bro.
Let's get this lesson.
Verse 9. The Most High shall establish thee an holy people unto himself.
He will establish his people, a holy people unto himself. Remember I said this God come with laws, right? He's holy. What does that mean? Let's get that, brother. Now, outside of us must mean the people ain't holy. Okay? For him to establish us as a holy people, first he had to separate us from the other people. Then he had to do what? Clean us up. Not just give us a bath, but clean us up. How? Get it?
Says sacred, ceremonially or morally.
Morally. Right? Ceremonially, that's a part of the law. We have a part called the ceremonial laws, which are the holy days of the Bible. And how we sacrifice and serve our God is a clean way. Outside of the filthy ways of the nations. Let's take Christmas for example. What do folks do on Christmas that's clean? Nothing. They commit adultery. They fornicate. They rob. They steal. They kill. They lie. They cheat. They deceive. Is anything clean about that? The whole idea is a lie, which is against the commandments. We never even think about it, for real. Wait, okay. What do this little fat white dude in the red suit got to do with Christ? Seriously though, what they got to do with Christ? And where these reindeers come from? But it's so-called Christ's birthday though, right? So let's just tie it all together. What they got to do with Christ? It's called something when you put something right in somebody's face. When you put the lie, the truth right in somebody's face, they don't even consider it. Right? Then when you observe it, let's say it was in the Bible to celebrate Christ's birthday, which is not. Okay? Where's Christ's gift? You celebrate Christ's birthday, where's his gift? What did Christ command us to do? If he was giving Christ a gift, what did he command us to do? He said, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. Give him that gift. Every day. It's not of the Israelites or it's like God to celebrate birthdays. It's idolatry, worshiping of thyself. Okay? It's better the day you died than the day you were born. Okay? We are begging for mercy. How, what we gotta be, seriously though, we beg for mercy, but we're so prideful as a people that we have a day. It's my day. Who told you that? Did Most High ever say that it's your day? Or did Christ tell us to go and pray, what? Excessively. That we're protected from temptation. And even on these birthdays, they're defiled, filthy. People are getting drunk, throwing up, fighting. What good comes from these days? Seriously. But with the Most High holy days, they're clean. Right? And all his holy days have to do with the salvation, the redemption of our people through Christ. In 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now, we'll be honoring the Feast of Purim. Right? Which is a memorial of us to remember when the Grecians were about to eradicate our people and the Most High used our sister Esther right? Esther, to save our people from eradication. Satan and his people have passed a decree to kill all the Israelites. I think in the 142 provinces that belong to the king. But Most High intervened and stopped them. Is this not a reason to celebrate, people? Does Christmas offer that? Is Christmas a remembrance of salvation? A foreshadowing of an ultimate salvation, redemption of God's people? No. Okay? Let's get it.
The Most High shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Most High thy God, and walk in his ways.
If we walk in his ways and keep the commandments, he will establish us. He will make us a morally clean people. See, outside of his voice, his laws and commandments, his word, there's no way to be clean. There's no way to be moral. Morally clean. There's no way to be righteous outside of his instructions. This Bible is called the instructions of righteousness, in righteousness. It's what makes man perfect. But the word says we can't be perfect, but the Bible says it makes us perfect. And the Bible says we must teach precept on precept, line upon line. So as we speak, we're going to back up with precepts. Because the world don't want to be perfect, don't want to be righteous. They are perfectly wicked. The Most High teaches us to be perfectly righteous, right? But how do we become perfectly righteous? Acceptable to the Most High. We must be a sacrifice to our God. Something that has to be acceptable to him. You can't, right now, if we're still sacrificing animals, you can come with a pig on the altar. Fire from heaven will come burn you to crisp. A pig is not an animal to eat. It's unclean. It's to clean the earth, the dead from the earth. Okay? So it says, 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16. All scriptures are given by the inspiration of the Most High, and is profitable for doctrine. That's how you prove things right or wrong according to the Bible. Christmas is not in the Bible, so it's of Satan. Birthdays are like the brother just mentioned. It's only mentioned twice in the Bible. And both times they, killed somebody. Most High shown us this is what the nations do. The Bible says, learn not the way of the heathen. We just read, do not ask what the Egyptians do. Think they wouldn't get it in on their birthdays, killing people? And it's proper for doctrine, for reproof. So the things that we was trained, the things our mama and daddy, grandmama and granddaddy taught us, the Bible will correct us and lead us into to follow what the Most High say do. For correction, for instructions in righteousness. See, this is why, the churches don't teach out the Bible. It's a common fact. They read you about 2, 3, maybe 5 scriptures at the most. But they give you a whole sermon about themselves. See, the Bible talks about these filthy dreamers. People that would tell you what the Lord told them last night in a dream. Okay? But how are they turning people back to the Most High? Instructing them to be perfectly righteous. They will tell you that no man is perfect. When the Bible is full of perfect people, and there's people on earth right now who are following the Most High perfectly to the best of their ability. Okay? Who are not willfully sinning. See, there's perfect people who have sinned, but their sins was unknown to them. Perfect people don't say, I'm going to go celebrate my birthday tonight. No, if it's something that you don't know, that's not willfully sinning. That's what we have Christ for. That's what people get twisted about. I think if we had Christ, we can just sin, and Christ will keep forgiving. No, Christ is truly for a sacrifice for us, for our unwilling, our unknown sins. Mm-hmm. But if you do willfully sin, I pray that the Most High, hope that He bring you to repentance, true repentance. True repentance is a true understanding of how you have really sinned, have committed a crime against the Most High. And realize that's just what it is. It's like a crime against the Most High. And you never turn back to that way again. That you feel sorrowful, low, remorseful. Not that I went out to the club last night, kicked it, I did all this right here, and I told the Most High I was sorry, and tonight I'm doing the same thing. That ain't repentance. Okay? So it says, for instructions in righteousness, that the man of God may be perfect. Imagine that. Thoroughly furnished into all good works. So remember I said to be perfect, and to be holy, to establish us, it's a work. It's a work the Most High is doing in His people. He's establishing us right now through His voice, through His words. He's purging out all the filth that we have grown in the midst of. He's re-educating us. Okay? Next precept.
Verse 13. Chapter 28, verse 13. And the Most High shall make thee the head and not the tail.
See, He make us the head and not the tail. So, are we the head today?
No.
The head are those, remember, it's a sign. The head are those that, if we was the head right now, we would be, the president, the CEO of every establishment on this earth. The Jewish folks right now are the head. So if they was God's people, they would be following His laws, Sabbath commandments, and they hate Christ. Literally, they hate Christ. So they're not keeping His laws, Sabbath commandments, and they're the head. And so we're going to read about how they became the head. Read.
And not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath, if thou hearken unto the commandment of the Most High thy God.
See, it says, if we hearken and listen to the laws of the Most High, we'll be the head and not the tail only. Okay? That's the true blessings he promised us. Not the blessings that the pastor's teaching you about. Read.
Which I command thee this day to observe and to do them. And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them.
So doing something else outside His laws and commandments equates to what? Listening, serving other gods. So the counsel in our mind is not of the Most High. We read 2 weeks ago, I think it was, of the seducers, of these seducers. These people, these teachers who will come into the body of Christ and seduce us, to lead us astray, lead us away from the Most High and His people. See, a lot of us think that we have these ideals in our mind that it's just organic, that this is your own thought. No, it's not. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, right? We wrestle with these wicked spirits who hide in dark places, even inside of us. So they're seducing us, influencing us to do what? Go outside the counsel of the Most High. Read.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy God, to observe to do all His commandments and the statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So what happens when we disobey the Most High? Curses, right? So I ask you, how come your pastors don't teach you about the curses? Because they teach us that God's going to bless us. They don't say why he will bless us, the truth about why he will bless us. So let's imagine if Christianity was of God, would it teach that the law is done away with? Seriously though. Because the Bible directly says what? If we do not follow his way, his words, we will be cursed. So how can it be of the Most High? Is that like contrary? Like seriously, brother, like if you tell me that I don't have to follow God's laws. But the Bible says that if we don't follow his laws, we'll be cursed. So obviously everything that he said we will be reversed. Who is the reverse of the Most High? Satan. Everything the Most High say do, what does Satan say? Not do. Right? God said, is it so that God said, oh, you positively would not? Is it, did God tell you to keep his laws? No. He didn't say you could keep his laws. Where is that written? Like, what scripture is that? Like, there's not one scripture in the Bible that says we ain't keep God's laws. We have found the voice of the Most High. Okay? When people read again, when it says we're not under the law, because our people have not been trained and raised in the law, they're thinking it's about the voice of the Most High. He just said that do not leave his counsel. Go to the right hand or to the left. So you're saying that God changed that. But if we was trained in the law or had a thorough understanding of the law, we would know what the Apostle Paul is talking about. Because you keep reading, you're going to understand that Paul is talking about sacrifices. We're not under the animal sacrifice anymore. Christ has come as a sacrifice once and for all. Nutshell. It's over. Paul was not the minister of sin. But if you don't understand the law, you would think it's talking about the whole law. But the Most High said if we don't follow his voice, that we will be cursed. And let's read what these curses are. Let's get it.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16 through 20.
And see who would teach this. Okay? Who would this prophet to get a people that the Most High has given, the only people on earth that the Most High has given his laws and commandments to get them to go contrary to his word? Who would it profit? Let's figure this out together. Let's get it.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Cursed shall you be in the city, and cursed shall you be in the field. Check it out, right? Imagine this day. Let's say we were all righteous people. How people would really see us. People would really respect you. Right? That's a righteous brother, that's a righteous sister. I admire how they conduct themselves. Right? I like how they walk. Right? But when you're a cursed people, people look at you with hatred. You become a reproach. Something that's detestable to people. So when people look at our people, they're not a blessed people. They're looking at a cursed people. You will see young men looking like women. Young women looking like men. You will see young men acting like women. You will see young women acting like men. You will see a people going against their own people. You see a people hating their own people. Not something that is attractive to other people. And say, you know what? I admire this people. Like, for example, you ever notice how we never say, like we always say, let's do what the white folks do because the white people or the Chinese do this. it seems like they got a blessing in how they conduct themselves. You know, well, the white people know they all stick together, you know, and they hire within their own families. And, you know, you don't hear about that with black people too often. As a nation, you hear, whoa, this little group, but as a nation of people, the so-called Chinese appear to stick together, which we know they got their own internal fights. So-called Jewish people, they got their own internal fights, but they kind of stick together on matters. You don't really see them fighting amongst themselves. So other people try to model themselves after them to get so-called carnal success or worldly success. They would follow the patterns of people that they observe who do outside of what we do. We're not the model of the earth anymore to follow. We were supposed to be the model that all the nations were to follow. Now we're following everybody else. So we're cursed in the city, cursed in the field. Right? Read.
Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Cursed should be thy basket and thy store. Okay? Do we have plenty? Are we a nation of people who have, how can I put it? Are we a nation of people that's plenteous in goods? I mean, are we? No? We still trying to make ends meet, right? But he promised us in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 5, blessed be thy basket and thy store. So it was a time when we was blessed in every aspect of life. Our women was not even bearing. No child came through deformed, miscarriages, none of that. All these things are product of a curse that we're reading about right now. But in every aspect of life, we would have been blessed. Now, in every aspect of life, we're cursed. Okay? Read.
Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land.
So cursed should be your children. Right? In every aspect. Right? Every aspect. You have miscarriages. A lot of children will be born, you know. And even when if they are successful to pass the infant stage, they'll be a cursed child. They'll be wicked. Read.
The increase of thy kind and the flocks of thy sheep.
So, no longer will we be a people who own cattle, have our own substance, our own businesses. Remember, if we was the head, people would have to come to us for what we're producing. Now that has been taken away from us. We don't even own a dog today. Right? Let alone a huge farm with animals, vegetables, fruit, all wine, all kind of stuff. We don't own anything. Read.
Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Most High shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest.
Where you at?
Thine, verse 20.
Let's get this.
Parish.
20. They station, right? H in Strong's Concordance is H4103. So part of a curse as a nation of people is confusion. Are we not a confused people? Is there any other people on earth who don't know themselves? Who don't have a culture? Isn't it crazy how this curse is such a sign? I heard a former friend of mine on TV speak this, Jalen Rose, right? He said that he has given to the culture. I started laughing when I heard that, right? He's given to the culture. What's he giving to the culture? What is our culture? Only the people who don't have a culture can say you have given to something that you don't even understand what it is. Because you have played basketball, you have given to charity, you have helped a couple of your people out financially, you have given to the culture? What's your culture, brother? Right now, it's so-called Black History Month, right? Are they talking about our culture? So is entertainment our culture?
Inventions and stuff.
Inventions our culture. What's a culture?
Way of life.
Way of life. So how have Jalen Rose given to our way of life? No, my brother. To that I die. But he's a part of confusion. We're people of confusion. It's a curse. We're confused. You will never hear a white person talking about they have given to the culture. Talk about entertainment. You will never see any other nationality people celebrating their so-called history month as this people do. Because it's a curse. Confusion. Okay? What else? Let's get this. It says, to make an uproar. What other people on earth, besides the children of Israel, not even some old so-called African Americans, because you can go on the news and see how people scattered across the book on earth, agitated. Make an uproar or agitate greatly. Because we are this cursed people who are confused and are easily to be made to go into an uproar or to agitate greatly, it's easy for us to do what? Like, for example, right? As much oppression as we suffer because of these curses, our people will get agitated greatly because a white woman called the Los Angeles Lakers the Los Angeles niggers. Off with her head, fire her. Will that change your course of life?
No.
What impact would that have on your life if this woman was fired? But we are easily agitated for nothing. Get a microphone. But, right? But we don't get easily agitated. Well, we get easily agitated when we come to our people with the truth. Yes, brother.
I said they when stuff happen like that, they just get ready to march.
March protest. We're the only people. So it's a sign and a wonder. So you look at other countries, those people out there protesting, the majority of people are Israelites. White folks out here protesting, they using their system to win to accomplish what they wanted to accomplish. They're gonna have community meetings and votes, and they're gonna get whatever they want passed through their legal system. We're gonna get out here with signs and so when masters say calm down, we calm down and back into our houses. Okay? But it's part of the curse. Read.
Cursing, vexation, and rebuke.
What's next?
In all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly.
till we be destroyed and perish quickly. Right? Get the word perish.
It says properly to wander away.
See, we have wandered away because we have lost our culture, our heritage. The laws, statutes, commandments are our heritage. It's the way of life for the children of Israel. We have lost it. So therefore, the laws are and were our compass. So because we don't have our compass, we wander away and lose oneself. We've lost ourselves. Okay? Lost ourselves. That's perished. You're perished people when you have lost yourself. Only a confused, cursed people will believe anything. I mean, anything. We are really like sheep that have just gone astray. We don't even check to see if it's right, is it true or not. Somebody say something, boom, we run with it. We have no foundation. We have forgotten our God. Okay?
May I add real quick?
Please.
Just to add real quick, these people have this understanding, and they'll tell you this all day, but they don't have the proper understanding on the why. The Nation of Islam, our Nation of Islam brothers will tell you all day that we are people who have lost ourselves and lost knowledge of self, but the reason we lost our knowledge of self is what they don't understand. So I just kind of want to throw that in there. We covering that right now.
This is the fall of our people. This is how we fail. So when y'all go to school, they say that you was a great people, but they lying about being African. I mean, we're not Africans. We was on the continent, but how we fail, we're reading about it. This is how we fail as a people. Okay? Read.
It says, and until thou perish quickly because of the wickedness of thy doings,
Because of the wickedness of our doings. This is why we would lose ourselves. How we lived. Who we worshipped. Read.
whereby thou hast forsaken me.
We have forsaken, forgotten our God, disobeyed him, left him.
Next precept, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 21.
Yeah, let's get that.
The Most High shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it.
Now check this out, right? Keep reading. Where we at?
You Leviticus next, but you had the breakdown, the precept, the definition of it, pestilence.
Another one.
The next precept, Leviticus
Hold
chapter.
on, I won't get that. Now, get the pestilence stuff there. It said pestilence in what?
Right here.
Get pestilence.
It says a pestilence, murrain.
No. That's me. Get that.
This is it.
Right.
That's it.
Oh, it's okay.
1698.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. In the sense of destroying, a pestilence.
In the sense of destroying, so there be methods of destruction concerning our people, right? But this is talking about also what? Infectious diseases. So it's not him that's infecting them with these diseases, but the Bible going to show us in a minute that he will leave us into the hands of our enemies. Ever heard of Bill Gates? Okay? So these people, the other nation, will be creating diseases to destroy our people. It says, what's that? Murrain is a what?
An antiquated term for various infectious diseases affecting cattle and sheep.
Now, instead of affecting the cattle and sheep, it's another definition. I'm trying to find it. But it talks about how these diseases are spread through animals. Have you ever heard of the Bill Gates mosquito? So they would use these insects, other animals, to disease our people. The who? The swine flu? What?
They got that
Mad cow
They
disease?
got the new one out,
The coronavirus? But this is all part of a curse because these people no longer have a protection from their God. These other nations will use these methods to destroy us. Get a microphone.
All those diseases you mentioned was the Simpsons.
The Simpsons. Yeah.
The Monsanto, the mosquito.
Exactly.
This virus, this flu virus.
So most of these diseases that we just mentioned were portrayed on the dark cartoon, The Simpsons, showing that years prior, showing that this is from men. So Most High said, because hey, He told us if we obeyed Him, we would have none of these diseases. He'll protect us. Because we won't listen to Him, the nations will use a depopulation strategy through our foods and our waters and through the health field or the healthcare system, and they will disease our people. Right? Next precept.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to probably answer the guy real quick about asking, do you have a place in Maryland? He would love to fellowship with you, just so you could tell him.
There it is.
I didn't want to put nothing.
No, brother, but inbox me, okay?
That's what
Let's see.
We can build, brother. Where we at, y'all?
Leviticus chapter 26, verse 25.
Okay. Oh, you know, that's where I want to get. Hold on, right here. Like it says right here, I said, but be as, I said that?
I can't pronounce that.
I had on other one, see something.
Babesiosis.
Yeah, babesiosis. I can't say all these words, girl. It says, is a rare, sometimes severe disease caused by the bite of a tick infected with babesia. A microscopic, tiny, not seen without a microscope, parasite that infects red blood cells. So this is all, yes.
Like all made up in a pastry dish.
It's all made of
Petri dish.
Petri dish, right? Read.
Next.
Yes.
Excuse me, the brother had brought out a point about the coronavirus. For it to be new is on the can, the Lysol.
Wow.
It's
The brother said they've been planning it for years.
Yeah, it's right on the
The
can.
coronavirus,
Yeah.
on the
That's
Lysol
old.
product.
It's
Oh,
old.
throw out the information, brother. I had no idea. I can't. By these glasses, I can't read them no way. So, yeah, that's amazing though. It just shows us that these people are diabolical. Okay, but because again, and that's what I'm trying to say, we have to really investigate Christianity and Islam and these other all these religions, because without us keeping this law, this is what we're subject to. So why would someone teach us these things for us to suffer these consequences if it was for us? Let's keep reading and just ask yourself that. Why would my pastor tell me this is, if this is what God said would happen to me and my people, why would my pastor, a deaconess, whatever y'all want to call yourselves, teach me these things against what the Most High said? Read.
Leviticus chapter 26, verse 25. And I will bring a sword upon you that shall avenge the quarrel of my covenant. And when ye are gathered together within your cities, I will send the pestilence among you, and ye shall be delivered into the hand of the enemy.
See, it says sword, war. There's all sorts of wars. This is this is serious, people. We have been delivered into the hands of our enemies. We're dying, not just by gunshots. We're dying in these hospitals, right? By man-made diseases. It's called this biochemical warfare. See, warfare is many strategies in warfare, right? But this is all part of the curse. Most High has warned us of these things that will come to pass. Read.
Next precept, Deuteronomy chapter 28, 22 through 28. Count when everyone's there. And it reads, verse 22, the Most High shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish.
So he's allowing these nations to smite us with these diseases, right? He's allowing these nations to kill us in the streets with the sword. What's the modern day sword, my people? Guns. So if our people had knowledge of why things are going on, we wouldn't be out here protesting. We would be teaching our people in these churches, this is why. So say us protesting with these names on these cardboards. We'll be telling our people, this is why it's happening. Let's get back to our law, statutes, commandments of our God. Then it will stop. See? That's how we prevent these things from happening, through obedience. But because our people will not listen to the law, it will continue until Christ comes. And we'll continue to protest, but you're protesting about what's already written. So the next one, brother or sister who get killed in a jail cell or get shot, handcuffed, it's part of a curse. Right? Then it says, with blasting and with mildew, right? That's an attack on the trees, right? On the vineyards, on the fruit trees, on the vegetables. Blasting and mildew affects plant life. Okay? For my plant-based eaters. Yes.
It's like the apple farm out there. The man said they didn't have their own apples this year because they had mildew on them.
It's prophecy. It's prophecy. This is attack. Yes.
Even for the marijuana plant, there's so many sick people from weed now that come in the hospital that
Mildew
they
kill you.
illegal. Now they're telling them you have to quit smoking weed because they come in with this uncontrollable nausea and vomiting. They can't stop vomiting, and it's the marijuana because of the way it's processed. Whoever processed it, mildew.
Mildew will kill you. Let people understand. All this is part of the curse. So you're not escaping the curse. The meat is contaminated and the fruits and vegetables. Okay? Read. And even though it's mildew and blasted with all kind of other what you call them? What was things called? Huh? No, not just chemicals, but funguses. Yeah, they still gonna sell it to you. They're not gonna make sure it's all clean. Same way they do with meat. And get all the bad part, the spoiled part, and put all grind all together. They do the same thing with vegetables. Why think they having all these recalls?
Right.
As long as they get away with it, they're gonna do it. Then that one little batch that they say they recall, and they recall a couple, and they come right back out. They're not wasting nothing to the poison for you. You people don't care about you. Their whole intent is to do what? Destroy you. Read.
And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron.
So what's that talking about? Couple connotations, right? Thy heavens that's over you, it represents your pride. Okay? Your pride, imagine a prideful people, right? Israel became a prideful people. The Most High said that Joshua waxed fat, became prideful. So prideful that they rejected their God. So imagine this prideful people being taken down by a weaker nation in ships. Where's your pride now? Where's your pride? Your mighty kings are in cargo ships too. You see? So your heavens will be what brass in your what? Like sardines in a cargo slave ship. The Most High is detailed, people. He's telling you what's going to happen. This private people will be carried away in slave ships with their kings. First, he took them to the physical Babylon in chains. But ultimately, in the end, he would send us in cargo slave ships into all lands and serve all the kingdoms. Read.
The Most High shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust. From heaven shall it come down upon thee until thou be destroyed.
So, our land used to be like paradise. Actually, it's where paradise was, where the Garden of Eden. Right? That's why I try to tell people, they think that right now where these Jewish people are is all our land. Because the rain has come as powder, most of our land is covered in sin. Like I said, he said that she would enjoy her Sabbaths. She would not be inhabited. The sound of a bridegroom and it would not be heard. Not from our people. Read. Remember, Jerusalem was the glory of the whole land. Right? Read.
The Most High shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them.
So we'll be smitten before our enemies. So we'll be shot dead in the street. We will come out protesting, 100 strong. One gunshot going in the air, we like roaches when the light come on. Go. Go. But we decided together, free this and stop this and stop that. Boom.
No justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace. Now we gone. Okay. Read.
And shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth.
It shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. So that means if the children of Israel are scattered to all the kingdoms of the earth, what does that mean? No matter where we are, if you in someone else's kingdom, what are you? You're a slave. So we would serve all these nations throughout all the earth, not just in America. Right now, I went to Jamaica a few years ago. Our people got it bad. The British or the Edomites over there controlling everything. The UK, where people at, the Edomites controlling everything. In Australia, our people are in captivity. Right? In Africa, our people are in captivity. Everywhere. We have nothing of our own. This is a sign, people, from the Most High God, that we are not. Let me ask you a question, since we're in the middle of this lesson. Does this sound like the Jewish people? Are there Jewish people scattered up on all the kingdoms of the earth, serving other nations? I mean, are they getting smited with the sword?
Better not touch one of them.
Better not touch one of them, you get life. But let's just see if they fit these curses and see who fit these curses. Let's keep going.
And thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air.
Our carcass should be meat into all fowls of the air. Let's keep reading.
And unto the beasts of the earth.
Remember back in the day, even to this day, as it is this day. Imagine how many brothers and sisters were left hanging out, getting ate up by the vultures. Mm-hmm. Ever heard of gator meat?
Gator bait.
Gator bait. Mm-hmm. Let's feed our babies to the alligators. Could you do this to a nation of people that's the head? Mm-mm. Right now, if a Roman / Jewish person, maybe was person was hung on a tree, I promise you, within a week, it'd be new laws passed. And guess what they would say? Well, Congress has passed a new law, so this act would never happen ever again. And if you touch one of them people, how many generations have been having our people? Seriously, they care more about dogs than us.
Oh, yeah.
They get laws passed for dogs to stop you from harming an animal. Not the children of Israel, though. You can continue to shoot them in the street, shoot them already wounded, passed out, handcuffed, already beaten up to they can't even to their lights out, and still get shot. And then a month later, we found no evidence to. No, they was acquitted. It's a curse. Yeah, she had your hand up.
Yeah. I was just saying they passed a law.
Give him a
that
phone.
you must have dogs and shelter and water and stuff for them. Yet still, we sleep up on the bridges.
Say that again.
There's laws now. You can't have a dog out when it's cold out. They have to have food, housing. They have to have food and water, fresh water. But yet still, we sleeping up on the bridges on the corner.
No said. Right. Right now, if you know, if in certain places in the country you feed the poor, you get arrested.
Yeah.
But they rather you feed a dog than a person. Okay. Read.
And thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air and to the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away.
No man should stop this.
The Most High will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab.
Y'all know what hemorrhoids are? Hemorrhoids. Okay? Ever heard of them? Okay.
And with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou canst not be healed.
Sexual transmitted diseases. Okay? You ever heard of them things start with a C? R-A-B?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I ain't gonna spell it anymore. Did I spell it right? Yeah. She be lost sometimes.
Oh man.
No, but because of this, and I'm gonna read something too that's gonna show what I'm saying. But keep going, brother.
The Most High will smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
Hold on, let me get this madness right. Right. I'm gonna go to this one though. 7696. To raid through insanity, play the madman. What's going on right now, y'all? Mental illness. Okay? So this is all prophecy. Okay? Mental illness is part of the curse. Okay? Thank you, brother. Next precept.
Next precept, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11.
Also, what did the precept say?
2 Thessalonians 2.
No, get back to the lesson. Oh, to the read. It was Deuteronomy 21. 8.
28. We stop at 28.
It says, Ahayah shall smite thee with madness, and mental illness, blindness, right? Not talking about with the eyes, okay? What blindness is he talking about? Let's get it.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11. And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusions.
Strong delusions. Our people will be subject to seducers who would seduce us with strong delusions. Okay? Read.
That they should believe a lie.
That we shall believe a lie. Our whole life, we have been subject to this strong delusion and the lies of the Gentiles. Everything we have been taught was a strong delusion and lies. Nothing they have told us is true. Nothing. That's why when we come into this so-called truth, that's what Christ said, the truth will make you free from the prison of the mind, the prison of lies that we have been in bondage our whole life to. We have to be re-educated, retrained, retaught, because everything. It's a strong delusion, though. That's why I say, you cannot tell our people that Christianity is of the devil. Islam is of the devil. They would not believe it. He's given us over to the devils, so that we believe it so strongly that we will fight the truth. Like seriously, again, yes, brother. If Christianity was of the Most High, why wouldn't they be teaching God's children how to get the true blessings, how to be the head, how not to suffer these curses? Why are they teaching us the things to be a cursed people? If Islam was of the Most High, if Allah was truly the God that created heaven and earth, why is His people following man's counsel over God's, trying to reverse the curses of God? Farrakhan is only teaching from the product of the curses, thinking that man can do it or redeem himself out of something that's divine. No, it's impossible. You can't build a kingdom within a kingdom. If Farrakhan was successful, think about it. You know, we show Farrakhan, they show Farrakhan, he's their tool, he's their agent. They show him, you know, amongst 300, you know, look, rough brothers with a little bow tie and suit on. That's a mosquito to the Gentiles' armies. He's not a threat to these people.
That's right.
They look good and united, but if there was really a threat to these people, he would still be living. If he wasn't useful to the Gentiles, to the government, he'd be living.
No.
Why is he such an exception? How does he live 50 years and the rest of them dead? It has to be some use to the brother. Because these devils don't love us. So why is he still living? Running his mouth saying nothing. Farrakhan reminds me of a black dude that's always talking about pro-black stuff with a white wife. And look, it really shocks you. I've been around brothers who are pro-black and militant. And I go to their house, I'm like, for real? Like, I mean, you would think the brother who was talking all this pro-black stuff would have a sister.
That's right. I know a couple.
With afro, with no fist, she body. But that's Farrakhan. Farrakhan is an undercover agent. He's a Freemason. For those who don't know who the Freemasons are, they're the devil. Okay? They are real tools of the devil. But he's speaking about nothing. He's a real good, he has mastered heartstring speeches. But he has done nothing for our people. Because Christ says what? He that does not gather with me is an enemy. He that gathers with me is with me. So, are Muslims keeping the laws of the Most High God that we're reading about? Have you heard of a Muslim that teaches the commandments of God?
No.
So what that makes them according to God? The enemy. Right now, seriously, if Muhammad was living, Farrakhan would be dead. Because he's not teaching what what Muhammad taught. Muhammad didn't like the Christians. But here's a so-called brother He's the Israel. No, I don't know what he is. It says daddy white. I don't know what he is, but he looked brown to me. But he has the children of Israel serving an Arab God. Islam is of the Arab nation. The Bible says that every nation has their own gods. So now these Israelites are serving the Arab God, whom the Arabs don't even acknowledge these people. Just like the Egyptians don't acknowledge these Kemet's. I met Egyptian months ago. I asked him about the Kemetic movement. He didn't know what I was talking about. I said, huh? I said, nah, we don't do that. I said, okay. You know? But all in all, if Allah is your Savior, why is Farrakhan talking about Christ? Why are you talking about Christ? He's tying, now he's just bringing them all because they're about to be one world religion. He's being used to bring the people up under the umbrella of the United Nations, in whom he serves. Okay? Read.
Isaiah chapter 29, verse 9.
So part of this curse should be the strong delusion and the lies of religion. Yes.
To what you had said before, like why people, they don't believe that they serving Satan. I noticed that people don't believe they serving Satan because what the TV and media put with Satan is all bad things. So that's why they don't believe that they're serving Satan at all.
But that's part of sorcery. That's psychological magic, right? So on TV they portray that Satan is all bad, but the Bible says that Satan comes as an angel of what? Light. So he comes as something that's good, right? I had a sister text me this pastor, years ago. Folks had prophesied Kobe Bryant's death, right? I'm like, sis, you obviously don't understand how the spirit world works, okay? This brother, let's say that he did get information from the spirit world, these demonic forces, okay? Well, people understand, because the Bible says that we seek a sign. So we see this brother, he prophesied Kobe Bryant's death. So it must be from God, because it came true. So that would lead people to what? Follow what this brother is doing, right? So I said, sis, check it out. The Bible said, by their fruit you should know them. So if it was of God, it will do what? Lead people back to God through obedience to what? His laws. So is the pastor or his church doing and keeping his commandments? No. If this sign something that has brought people to obedience? No. So what is the same thing going to church every week? These pastors laying their hands on people falling out, and they woo-woo and ha-ha, but none of this stuff is leading people into obedience. They feel something there, so they think the Spirit of God was in there. And it's a strong delusion. That they don't understand like this deeper than this feeling thing. Because disobedience leads us to what? Disobedience leads us to a curse. So the Most High said he put life and the blessings before us, curses and death before us. So as long as we follow the things that lead to us being a cursed people, death awaits us. So these signs is not leading people. When Christ did signs, what did he lead people to do? Either to follow him, who kept the laws, or leave them. When the apostles did signs, it was baptized by the thousands. And then, because it was a righteous thing, after they got doing the baptism, they had to run out of time. Because people didn't like that. Satan's church didn't like that. Yes, sister.
I was just reading that too, what Keon had said. When I was to Christian, I used to think just because someone was performing like tricks or fake healing or whatever, that was of God. And then I had read that that's what the Egyptians were doing, showing that they can do tricks also, of what Moses was showing that God's
Exactly. And that's what a lot of people, we have done lessons on that. A lot of people have been led astray. I mean, when they read about the Moses going and part of the Red Sea, they skip over the part that these magic practices and priests of the Pharaoh were doing signs too. Like, was that of God? Did God destroy himself? See? Sure that the spirit world have power too. Right? And sorry to say this, but their function is to kill. So if Kobe Bryant is dead, you know, the demons are the ones who are used to kill people. So they say, well, this person is going to die Tuesday. They can kill you Tuesday. Be the Most High's will. Because no one dies unless the Most High gets the decree. But if you read about the Egyptians, the Most High sent the death angel. He gave them the permission. You see? So, yes.
Real quick, we know within this room and a lot of those who watch our videos, we know that behind the entertainment industry, the movies and things of that nature, that these demons control it and they push these messages off in these movies and stuff like that. So it was kind of funny to me. It's like I almost expected it. I didn't do no research on it personally because I didn't really want to get into it, but it just happened to pop up. There was a cartoon on Comedy Central, and it actually showed Kobe Bryant coming down in a helicopter, it blowing up or whatever. So so we know, like the Simpsons, they put a lot of stuff in their cartoons years and years before it happened. So I just kind of, you know, it's not really a coincidence at that point. So, but the backlash and the what happened after the fact is what's kind of crazy to me. The idol worship of Kobe now. It's like it's deeper than just the paying of the respects. You got people getting his name tattooed, people crying all day and night. It becomes it's idol worship. They turn this person into a god in a sense, because now that he's gone, people are starting to worship him. People are starting to live in a mindset, like they starting to fashion their life and their ideologies after people, like, and that's it's the Mamba mentality and things of that nature. They turned him into a idol, which he already was, but on a grander scale now.
Wow.
So
his brother, he's saying that it's a commercial. It's not to mention the commercial with him and Kanye. He threw a bomb basketball at Kanye on the helicopter. You know, here's the thing. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, if the brother is dead, you know, I feel for his family, because death is an enemy. You know, and if him, his daughter, and the 7 other people are truly dead, I feel for him. But it's, you know, I wasn't there, so I don't know. You know, but I know that these people are sorcerers. You know, and it's been a lot of so-called deaths that I don't believe. Even back when I was a kid in grade school, I think I was in grade school or junior high school, probably in grade school, when the space shuttle was supposed to have blown up. And then now I'm a grown man seeing these people didn't die all, that they're at Yale teaching, and this person is a doctor. So, you know, these people have been playing this game for a long time. You know, but all in all, these entertainers have signed their life over to the devil, to these sorcerers. You know, not all of them, but a lot of the so-called superstars, they have sold their soul. You know, so when you sell your soul, you are in the possession of them. That means whatever they want you to do, you must do it. You know, and like I said, some of these people I believe is in a part of the earth that we can't even get to, living their best life. You know, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it's just ironic that, to me, over and over again, you keep putting 5, 10, 15 years on cartoon what's occurring. As one sister said, all these things are planned. Why are they doing this to our minds?
Exactly.
What are they distracting us from? Where are they leading us to? You know what I'm saying? All in all, you know, with the brother dead or not, if he is dead, you know, my condolences to his family. I know she ain't watching this, but all in all, it has no impact on my life. You know, I got friends I know, they all said about it. You don't even know him. People are riding hard with this dude, then they ride with their own families.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me. You don't know Kobe Bryant. If Kobe Bryant was alive and came to your neighborhood, he probably wouldn't speak to you. But you're ready to fight your brother for saying something against this brother. You know, that's the brother bringing out. This is idol worship. If the brother is dead, as the Bible says, their gods, their mighty, the mighty men will fall. Their gods will fall. Okay, so we are not to get into idolatry, idolatrous worship. We are to worship God over men, because all in all, sorry to say this, but if any of us is not keeping these laws, statutes, commandments, our fate is our fate. We will be tormented in hell. The Bible says that we will learn after death by pain and be tormented in hell for disobeying Him and not doing what He said. So the Bible says, don't be curious any longer about what happens to the dead and how and when they'll be punished, but inquire of the righteous and how he or she will be rewarded. So if someone does die, it's a sign as well to get our life in harmony with the Most High, our Creator. So if you believe the brother's dead, or someone you love, I lost a friend last week, or one of his funeral was yesterday. Grew with the brother. His sister too. Much love, and she know that. But all in all, it's a sign that if my night was yesterday, was I in good standing with the Most High? That's all that matters. And that's going back to them birthday thing. It don't matter how hard you go on your birthday. If you die that night, did you die acceptable to the Most High? Because if you didn't, Christ said it was better that you was not born than the suffer things you're about to suffer. But if you did, nothing that you could go through can compare to the reward that He has promised us. Next precept.
Isaiah chapter 29, verse 9 through 14.
Sister, the verse says, these brothers are leaning on their own understanding and speaking from a spirit of strife. Hey, Israel gonna do what Israel gonna do. The spirit of strife is not the spirit of the Holy Spirit. It's not a fruitage of the Holy Spirit. So we yield to the spirit that we serve. So if the spirit of strife is coming out of our mouths, then our heart is with the God of strife. Read.
Verse 9. Stay yourselves and wonder. Cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine.
See, this is being smited with blindness. Right, what were we at?
No, Isaiah.
Isaiah?
Yep. Chapter 29, verse 9.
Come on. Let's get it.
They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink.
See, this is how the Most High sees our people. Like, we all have seen people around here drunk, walking around about to run to the wall. This is how Israel walks every day. They're drunk, but not with wine. Read.
For the Most High hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep.
The Most High has poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep. So now, when you hear the truth, it don't awake you. The truth is the alarm clock. You hit the snooze button. See? You're hitting the snooze button. Read.
And hath closed your eyes.
He hath closed your eyes. Read.
The prophets and your rulers, the seers, hath He covered.
So your pastors' eyes are covered. Your so-called prophetess and prophets, the Most High has closed their eyes. That's why there's no truth in our communities. Yes.
The blindness is real. I was talking to a young lady. She was saying why the church don't believe in lady pastors, or she said pastors or deacons or whatever. She said, why don't your church believe in that? And we spoke of the verse that she read it and she know the verse, and she said, but still. And I'm like, but still what? It says that a woman can't preach over, you can't over a man. She knew all that, but her response was, but still. And I'm like,
that's what you're talking about. Ain't nothing to say.
Yeah.
It's a strong delusion. They believe in life and they make excuses to sin. Like Most High say something like, what is the but still?
Mm-hmm.
But there's no but. Right? Either do or don't. Read.
And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he said, I cannot, for it is sealed.
So now the Bible, it's a symbolic book. It's not a literal book. So now they got to go to the other blind men to read their books to try to interpret, get an understanding of what the Bible said. You see? One who's supposed to be learned, eyes is blind, so he don't know. He said, I can't. But if you read this book, I read the Bible though. The Bible says, through thy precepts I get understanding. Not through the book that man wrote. They're trying to explain to me what God is saying. Read.
And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he said, I am not learned. Wherefore the Most High said, For as much as this people draw near me with their mouth, and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men.
See? As much as we say we love the Most High, our heart is far from him. That's why, what? We're in the curse of blindness. And the fear we have, the doctrine we have, is taught of the commandments of men. That's why we do Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthdays, all these holidays, not what the Bible says. Because we have replaced the laws of God with the traditions and the commandments of men. That's our doctrine. What men say. That's why this is but still. My pastor say, the Bible says this, but my pastor say, read.
Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people.
This is a marvelous work, people. As a nation, this is a marvelous work. Read.
Even a marvelous work and a wonder, for the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent shall be hid.
Be hid. That's a sign. These pastors don't know the Most High. They don't. Next precept.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 29 through 41.
So because we've been struck with this blindness, this confusion, we have been tossed over to a strong delusion that we believe these lies. These lies are the traditions and commandments of men, these religions, these philosophies. Okay?
Deuteronomy 28, 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee.
So check it out. As a nation of people, we should not prosper. We will not come together. Okay, so I don't care how. That's why Farrakhan been trying to do it for 50 years. Has we prospered as a people? All these men who came before him, have we prospered as a people? Are we still not suffering poverty? Are we still lacking for all and wanting all things? Who has come to save us? Who has come to redeem us? Do y'all get it? This is for a sign. This is the people right here. For example, the Chinese, right? In the early 1900s, I think it was, late 1800s or early 1900s, they kicked the Chinese people out of here. It's called the Chinese Exclusion Act, right? Dig, right? Have they not gathered together and prospered as a people? As a nation of people, have they not prospered? The so-called, let's say if the Holocaust was real, right? Have they not prospered, come together and prospered as a people?
Yes, sir.
How come Israel has not prospered as a people? Much as we've gone through. We're cursed. Every nation has to bounce back and has prospered as a people. Right? Not Israel, though. I want to read something. I put it on my text messages. we was talking about those diseases and stuff like that? It says it's for a sign. I mean, this is from the ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. Okay, back in 2001, it's an article. It's a review article. Just want to read something. Show you how this is really for a sign and a wonder. It says the health status of so-called African Americans, I put the so-called in there, identifies a higher prevalence of cardiovascular diseases, cancer, hypertension, diabetes, obesity, and sexually transmitted infections when compared with whites. Okay, so just wanted to just break that down for you. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but just showing you that as a nation of people, the Most High is showing us that we're people with these curses, these vexations, pestilence that we have, all these different categories. You know, because we are promiscuous, we are leading all nations in, you know, sexually transmitted infections. Because we don't follow the dietary law, right? We have all these diseases, cardiovascular, yes, obesity, yes.
It seems like it has to be more than just because because they're promiscuous as well. So it really goes back to the curses. Why are we more vexed with the disease? Because they're not like a holy, morally holy person.
We say people are sign. So at all, they're not chaste at all, right? But we are leading every category, showing us because, huh?
I was just say they don't publicize it.
Yeah. So
well, even the records will tell you now. Who do the records? I don't know, but records will show that we do lead according
in all
to
categories.
their records.
Yeah. But we are these people.
Yeah,
the Most High is saying because we will be leading all these categories. So I meant to read that earlier. I forgot it. Just want to get that in. Let's get it.
What verse is that?
Stop at 30.
Thou shalt betroth a wife. Wait.
Yep.
Okay. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. And thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them.
So the things that maintained us, our substance, these animals and stuff was our primary source of income, will be taken from us violently. Okay? We even get deeper into everything that we invented. Everything will be violently taken from us. And there'll be no laws, no man that will come and get these things back to us. Right? The whole world will be functioning off of our backs. Okay? Things that we created. Okay? Read.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
So, have the Jewish people, sons and daughters, been given to another people? Okay, I was wondering because they said that they got killed, right? 6 million soldiers that had died. They didn't go to another people according to the curse, which they did not die. Bread ovens don't incinerate people, right? But anyway, read.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
Who was given to another people? Israelites. Right? We went from having one name to now we're what? Now we have a slave master's last name, right? Salam, sis. Right? So, but you get it. Read. 33.
The fruit of thy land and all thy labor shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always, so that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. The Most High shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sword.
It sounds like We say the smite was lazy knee. I thought about arthritis at first. For real. But read.
And in the ledge with a sore botch that cannot be healed, from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head. The Most High shall bring thee, and thy king which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone.
Wood and stone. Believe it or not, two so-called great religions are what? Who? Christianity and Islam. Wood and stone. Read.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Most High shall lead thee.
Every name we've been called by other nations is everything but what? The children of Israel. Bywords. Right? Made fun of us, called us names, monkeys, niggas, spicks, African Americans, Mexicans. Who?
Black colors.
Oh my goodness, let's go. Wetbacks. Hey, byword, let's get it.
Thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it.
What are the locusts? The nations. We will cover. You would think if you doing all this work, you're gonna benefit, right? We don't. Read.
Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes.
Out in California, let's just keep literal with the vineyards. Who's out in California in the vineyards? Issachar. Are they drinking any of the wine? No. Better not get caught. For real. Be deported. You know? Read.
For the worms shall eat them. Thou shalt have olive trees throughout all thy coasts, but thou shalt not anoint thyself with the oil, for thine olive shall cast its fruit. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
Our sons and daughters, we are the product of this curse. Our foreparents came over here and now we're still in captivity. It's not chattel slavery, but we're still in captivity. Whether you don't believe it or not. What we ask?
Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 14.
There's only one people on earth who has a history of captivity. Like centuries after century after century, these people have been in captivity. So much that the prophet Jeremiah said, what?
Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled?
Why is he destroyed? Is Israel home? This God's chosen people, is it servant? Was he not supposed to be the head? Why is he spoiled? Right? Let's pray so.
2nd Ezra chapter 6, 57 through 59.
Got another prophet asking the same question.
Once again, at 2nd Ezra chapter 6, 57 through 59. And it reads, And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us, and to devour us. But why thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands? If the worlds now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure?
He says, and now, O Ahayah, behold these heathens, these other nations, right, which have ever been reputed as nothing. But today they make themselves like they're the best thing since sliced bread. Have begun to be lords, rulers, owners over us, and to devour us. Is this not what the curse promised? So see how through generations and generations we have gone through this? Is there any other people that can say throughout, starting with biblical time, and to this day, are still in captivity? There ain't no people that you can consider. This is biblical. This is biblical time right now. We're still in captivity. That's why Jeremiah said, "Is Israel a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Disobedience. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, the one that you love, are given into their hands." If the world now being made for our sakes, the world was made for our sakes. When he started, he said, if we obey him, what? We'll be above all nations. The world was created for our sake. Why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long should this endure? Thankfully, through the prophet Daniel, he gave us consolation. There be four world kingdoms, empires that rule over us until our kingdom comes with Christ bringing. So, Esau, the Edomites, these Jewish people, the white people, kingdom will be the last kingdom. This is the last kingdom. This is the last time. As the Bible is about to say, when we get to it, that we will ever be in captivity and serve any nation ever again. Okay? But this is a sign. This is for a sign and wonder that there's no other people on earth. This is tying us back into us being descendants of the people of the Bible. There's no other people like us. Yeah, every nation has suffered things and been slaves or whatever, but not like us. Not like us. Not through generations and generations and generations through time, and still, as the day tick, as time tick and the day tick, we are still slaves. Read.
Next precept, Deuteronomy 28, 42 through 47. And it reads, all thy trees and fruit of thy land shall the locust consume. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
So the Gentile nations that was within us, that was buying things from us, serving us, have gotten up very high, and we've come down to the lowest of the lowest, as a sign and a wonder. See? So this could not be talking about the Jewish people. They have become very high. They're the highest. So how can they be the people of God? Christ has not come. Because these people will suffer this curse until Christ comes. Matter of fact, these people will not come back to their homeland Jerusalem until Christ lead them. Which is also in the latter part of this lesson. Read.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed. Because
the Jewish people are not a destroyed nation, we are. Read.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Ahayah thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee.
So again, let's deal with Christianity one more time. If it was the religion of so-called teachings of God, why would God teach us to suffer these curses? It says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee. We can run from them, but it says that, and overtake thee. We can't escape them. Till thou be destroyed, because thou hearken not unto the voice or the law of Ahayah your God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. So again, if obedience equals blessings and dominion, why would the church teach us opposite? Again, Christianity, Islam, are the doctrines of devils. It will have our people in captivity and very low, spoiled, destroyed to this day. It's the strong delusions. It's the lies that's prophesied in our book. Please hear this message today, my people. Don't be one who say, but if. It's what the Bible say. There's nothing good in Satan's religion. Remember, he comes as the angel of light. So it appears as it's good. You're looking at the people. There's some so-called good people in these churches, but that don't mean that it's of the Most High. If you're keeping these laws and commandments, your pastor is commanding you, reproving you, correcting you through the law, ride with that. If they're telling you that the law's done away with, you ain't got to follow his laws, who is that advantageous to? Who is that advantageous for? So it's Satan and his children, their kingdom. It's what gives them service in their kingdom. It's give them the children of Israel as service in their kingdom. Because they would not be the head. They would be the tail. Oppressed, spoiled, blind, confused, lost, without a compass, no culture. Whatever master says is what we do. Read.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
It will be apparent that we are the people. People.
And upon thy seed forever. Because thou servest not Ahayah thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things.
See, for the abundance of all things, we must be obedient. You see, that's how it works. That's how the blessings come. The blessings don't come because you tied into the church, which tithe is the law. But there's other laws in this tithing. Without following the Most High's law, it's doing all His laws, 7 commandments. We are suffering today, people, because of disobedience, the curses that we're reading about today. This lesson is primarily for those who have never heard this, and some that need a reminder. Read.
Next precept, Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1 and verse 8 through 11.
There's many men and women who have profited and are profiting off of this scripture, off of this mentality that the Most High prophesied about our people. This is how you have mega churches. This is the blood in the veins of Christianity. It's the blood in the veins of Islam. It's the blood in the veins for Egyptology. The blood in the veins for every religion. This mentality, this spirit, it will flow through the veins of these religions. Read.
Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Most High, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin.
See, destruction to the rebellious children, says the Most High. Woe means destruction. So because we're rebellious, because we refuse to keep his laws, statutes, learn and keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, destruction is awaiting us. The curses have overtaken us that take counsel, but not of him. So none of these churches are giving you the counsel of the Most High. I don't care if they got 5 things right and they appear to be good. By their fruit you should know them. By their paganism you should know them. By their rejecting the Most High's laws, you will know them. And that covering with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin unto sin. Their spirits roaming amongst these bodies, but the spirit that's covering them is not the Most High Spirit. Therefore, they continue to add sin unto sin. Because the seers, the prophets, the teachers, the pastors are making excuses, and they are doing as Christ warned us. As when he said, he that did not keep his commandments and teach other men so. See? That's the fruit. That's the sign. These men that will not do his law and teach other men not to do his law will accumulate and promote what? People, their flock, adding sin unto sin. Yes.
No.
Oh. Read.
Verse 8. Now go, write it before them in the table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come, forever and ever.
So now we're reading about why we're suffering. We're reading about how to get the promises of our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Get the promise that he promised our fathers, that will go to their seed, which is us, the children of Israel. Now we know that we're not trying to get a monetary blessing from the Most High. We're trying to please him and get our kingdom. Read.
That this is a rebellious people,
See,
lying children.
Most High is calling you out though. God, what you say, how good you say you are, how good you say your pastor is, how much you like your church, the Most High is saying, no, as a nation, this is a what?
Rebellious people.
Rebellious people. Lying children. Read.
Children that will not hear the law of the Most High.
Children that will not hear the law of the Most High. That's the fact. That this is out the Most High's mouth. You will not hear the law of the Most High. We've been overtaken with the strong delusions. And we love the lies. Because we love sin. We love doing what we want to do. We've been convinced that we have the right to live our life how we want to live. We've been convinced that we have the right to do whatever it is we want to do. We've been convinced that we have the right to eat whatever we want to eat and to celebrate whatever day we choose to. We've been deceived by the same spirit that deceived our mother Eve. That's what he felt. That's how he feels. So therefore, like I say all the time, you have the same spirit in you of the God you serve. So because that spirit was he rebelled from the beginning, you rebel. Because he's become your shepherd. And he's the only voice you will listen to. So therefore the Most High said, you are rebellious children, lying children. that would not hear his words. Read.
Which say to the seers, see not.
Which say to the pastor, see not my sin. Don't judge me. You can't judge me. Sounds familiar? Read.
And to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things.
What's right things? The law, the voice of the Most High, the word of the Most High. Don't teach that. Don't teach the truth of that Bible. They want to hear that. Prophesy not unto us right things. Teach us what?
Speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits.
Speak unto us smooth things. Prophesy deceits. So they will believe the but ifs, the buts, the and, see, but. Read.
Get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us.
Don't want to serve that guy. He has too many rules that interrupts my life. See? I want to build this person, but I don't want to marry this person. I want to be with multiple people still. I don't want to settle down and get married. I want to continue smoking weed. I want to continue selling drugs. I want to continue to be a whore. I want to continue to celebrate Christmas. I love Easter. I love getting together with the kids and having Easter bunny hunts. Easter egg hunts. I don't want to stop. Birthday, that's my favorite day. I don't want to stop birthdays. Celebrate my birthday. Get that guy out of my face. Find me a guy to say it's okay. Or find me a church on the corner that say it's okay. See how that works? Next precept.
2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 3 and 4.
Second Timothy chapter 4, verse 3 and 4 reads, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine. And notice there's a doctrine that's sound in the Bible. You read in same matter of fact, right above this, that Christ's doctrine, Most High doctrine, is profitable. So this profitable doctrine that's sound, they will not endure it. But after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers having itchy ears. See? After their own lust. They will find a teacher that will say it's okay for them to live the life that they lust for. To have a pastor to teach you that it's okay to follow your own lust, he or she must be of the same spirit. Anyone outside or contrary to that lust would be against it. If a pastor was of the Most High, how can they tell you that it's okay to live according to your own lust? See? And they should turn away their ears from the truth and should be turned into fables, the stories or traditions of men. See? Will be turned away into fables, traditions of men. We find teachers, we will criminate teachers to ourselves, to itch our ears, make us feel good with lies, deceit, smooth things. Next precept, Deuteronomy 28, verse 48 to 54. 48. It reads, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the highest shall sin against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee. See? So because we are disobedient, everything that we need and want, we're to serve who the Most High calls our enemies. Whether you believe it or not. And that's why it's very important for us to have the same mindset the Most High has concerning the people that rule over us. We are not to trust these people. Okay? The government is not to be trusted. It's not for us. It's not set up for our benefit. They do not care about us. They are not our government. The Most High is. Now, are we to be lawless out here breaking the laws of the land? According to the Bible, no. Right? He said we would serve our enemies. But when it conflicts with the Most High, then we serve the Most High over this government. Okay? So, thou shalt not kill. Don't go to their army or their militaries. Okay? This for an example. Verse 49. And Ahayah shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the ends of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. This right here is talking about the Caucasians. Okay? The Edomites, Romans. A nation of, now check it out. This is who they really are. The Most High described them in truth. So regardless of how you feel, this is who the Most High say they are. Now, I'm not saying every white person is evil. We're talking about the people that rule over us. They're evil. Okay? A nation of fierce countenance, which should not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. So what are we voting for? Why are you voting? Why are you hoping in the president that would do what for you? Wait, what? A better place? He says that would not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. You don't stand a chance. Now you see why we've been voting for so many years and marching for so many years and nothing has changed? Most High is calling them out, letting them know how they really cut. Yes, sister.
Feeding the baby to an alligator is...
Feeding the baby to an alligator is just outright evil. They don't care about your babies, but they know they won't come in to get baby a vaccine though. But they feed them to an alligator though. Same time. Vaccine them. But feed them to an alligator. Okay? And he should eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also should not leave either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he has destroyed thee. Everything that we have created, y'all, everything that we do, they take. Put their stamp on it, put their name up on it, and don't give you nothing. Okay? So don't expect nothing from these people. Where we at? 52. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trusted throughout all thy land. And he shall beseech thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which Ahayah thy God have given thee. So when we had our high walls and our fenced cities as a form of defense, he allowed them to come in to destroy us. We had no defense because the Most High was our defense, not the walls or the gates. Okay? Verse 53, and thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body. This is what the brother politely be talking about. Y'all gotta make y'all eat your... No, he didn't make us do that. Just imagine you in war. Famine. Many people have eaten their own for survival. This is talking about war. They didn't just come in and open gates up and went with them willingly. They starved us out. We fought them. It's famine. No, what's coming soon? World War III is coming. There'll be no food, no water to drink. The water will be poisoned. It's already poisoned. Many people outside the Church of Israel, white people too, will be eating their own for survival. Trust me, it's throughout history people have done this. But because, yes.
Oh, it's not real quick. Was that story in Kings where there was the two ladies and the lady was like, me and my wife was talking about
Solomon?
Yeah, under King Solomon, yup, and the lady was like, we're gonna eat my baby tomorrow, we're gonna eat your baby tonight. So then they ate the one baby, and then the next day the lady like hid her baby, so they ain't eat her. They ate the other lady baby. Then she like kind of took her to court, like, you know what I'm saying, over the situation. But yeah, so it just shows that when the times get hard, people, you know what I'm saying, we not accustomed to that as far as we know, but people, you know, throughout history, people have done it.
Yeah. They said time. It's true. They said desperate times
Call
call
for desperate measures.
You know what I'm saying? So you can say what you want to say, but this is showing how bleak it has gotten for our people. So because we went from people of having everything to people that's in a situation where there's nothing, there's famine, and many of us have eaten our own. So it's part of the curse. It says, verse 53, the flesh of thy son and of thy daughters, which the Ahayah thy God hath given thee, in the siege, and in the straightness wherein thy enemies shall distress thee. So this when this was going on, and it's coming again, people. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, okay? Now, Israel, there used to be a time when our men was dying soldiers, real men. But part of this curse is that our men will become tender and delicate, right? As they are right now today, okay? Very soft, effeminate, okay? And very delicate. His eyes should be evil towards his brother. It's not going on now? And towards his wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children which he should leave, so that he would not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he should eat, because he hath nothing left him in the siege, in the straitness, wherewith thy enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. Here's a brother that cared for himself and not his children. So supposed to be his children first. He ate his substance, then he ate his children. Okay? So that he would not, I read that. Verse 56. Where we at? What we'll go somewhere else?
No, you keep going.
Oh, 56?
Yeah, through 59. Through 60, actually.
Where am I right now? 56?
Yep.
The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground, for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes should be evil towards her husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter. Right? Yeah, women now. Yes. Their hand up.
No, tender, delicate.
Okay. Okay, delicate. I'm sorry. I had watched the I ain't watched this, but I seen I seen a clip of the Grammys. What's that brother with the pink suit on?
Tyler the Creator.
Who?
Tyler the Creator.
Tyler, that's his name?
Yeah.
Tyler the Creator.
No, that was the other one. The pink suit. That
Oh,
was
Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X.
Oh,
That's his name.
see, I ain't watch it either. I just know Tyler the Creator was on there. I heard.
His name is Lil Nas X.
Yep.
Lil Nas X. Wow, what a name. Okay. If it like me, I could just not see how a dude is he gay?
Is he gay?
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I'm like, how would a dude think this suit? All of them about Sodomites now, but I'm like, how can a dude? Because I don't know Lil Nas X. Like, how can a dude think this is child? You know what I'm saying? But part of the curse is right. Check it out. When it says delicate, you go to the definition. It's luxurious, right? So this is how these men would be. They'd be feminine and they'd be tender and delicate, right? But it says, giving self-indulgence or sensual pleasures, right? It's extremely comfortable, elegant, or enjoyable, especially in a way that involves great expense, right? So I see these brothers on these in the entertainment field, and then it goes down to our communities.
Mm-hmm.
They would put on women clothing and would justify it because of the name brand, the tag it has on it.
Lil Uzi Vert watched that video.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's his name?
Lil Uzi Vert.
Lil Uzi Vert.
Lil Uzi Vert.
But saying that people are jealous because it's a such name brand.
Fabric. Yeah,
fabric. They never felt it was fabric before. What fabric got to do just look like a woman? But this was the men will indulge themselves and they will come into be these kind of people. Where they will enjoy these luxurious, expensive things that's feminine. Curse is real, man. It's for a sign and wonder. Okay? But I won't get deeper than that, but let's get it. Where we at? Go ahead.
56.
57.
Got all 56?
Yeah.
And toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things, secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, Ahayah thy God.
Let me ask you a question. Does this seem quite important, these laws in this book that he's talking about for us to do them? So do you see why I say Christianity is of the devil and it's evil?
What their favorite excuse is, as long as you're trying, the Lord know your heart.
Brother, raise your hand.
I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead. Get your microphone. He got a deep, loud voice anyway, but get your microphone.
Sorry for blurting that out.
Yeah.
But their favorite excuse is, as long as you're trying, the Lord knows your heart, and you have grace and time. Is what they say.
Does this sound like what we just read though?
No, it don't.
See, Lord knows your heart. Every scripture that I read about the heart said it was evil. The heart was evil, right? So he says that these things we will be in these situations if we will not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book. See, all the law, huh? So Christianity is contrary to the Bible. Christ warned us of Christianity, the great deception that will come upon this earth. The time will come when they will not listen to the sound doctrine. See? Christianity and Islam will come, and these other religions will come to deceive our people and lead them astray. Read.
Verse 59. Then the Most High will make thy plagues wonderful.
Get wonderful. Where's that? Perhaps to separate, distinguish, right? So, again, he said it'd be apparent for a sign of wonder, right? So, our place will be distinguished from all people, separate from all people. Even though we're going to say the same thing, as she said, these other nations are filthy, but we still top them in all the categories. Okay? Difficult, right? Great. Let's get it.
And the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues.
It goes to generational. It's a generational curse. These are generational curses. It will go into our seeds, our children. Read.
Even great plagues, and of a long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance.
Are all people sick? Walk around looking like demons? I'm serious. People are really stressed out. They look bad. We really do. You can see that. I'm serious. We are possessed. I'm just telling you, we are possessed by demons, and you can see it in the face of our people, in their countenance. The first thing people say when they see us is, "You got to glow about yourself." Huh?
They do.
You go outside the house, you see some dark people. You know. Read.
Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Next precept, Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 27.
Wait a
Coronavirus.
Coronavirus. That's crazy. That's crazy how it's on that can though.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Wow.
So I'm expecting the rest of them to get next.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them that
We probably ain't never heard of it.
never heard of.
But he's part of the curse too, right? And part of this curse is us being called minorities. Okay? But check this out, read.
And the Most High shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither Ahayah shall lead you.
So check it out. At one time, who was the majority in our midst? It was us. Gentile was among us, but it was way more of us than it was them. Every population that we in, we're the few, they're the majority. It's part of the curse. See? Seriously, it's only a few cities, Atlanta, Detroit, you know, no, they didn't kick rocks and get out of that place. But all in all, every place that we're scattered to, we're the majority. I mean, we're the so-called minority. Okay, we're not. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was about to say, and also like you just stated, like Atlanta, Detroit, or even thinking Australia, where we got a large concentration of our people. As far as the social structure, we are still in the poor, you know what I'm saying, of that area.
Ghettos.
Because of what has happened to us as a nation, you know. So,
In every place we're scattered, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like where we're scattered, we're the minority, but we're the majority.
We're the majority overall.
Of the earth.
Yeah. But yeah, like right now in Saginaw, Michigan, there's more white folks than it is us. You know what I'm saying? And like that's how it is. Like in this state, it's way more white people than it is black folks. You get it? So therefore, there will always be what a fear amongst the so-called majority. Because think about it, if we 10-1 them, it might be a different situation.
Yeah, God.
You know? Yes.
When we all come back together.
Hey, that's the time to see. Time to wait for it. Let's get it.
Next precept, Deuteronomy 28, 61 through 63. And it reads, also every sickness and every plague, which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Most High bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
As you said, the coronavirus, thing we never heard of popping up. All right, let's get it.
And ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Most High thy God. And it shall come to pass, that as the Most High rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Most High will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. And ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou go is to possess it.
He would pluck us off our land, it'd be vacant. And then so-called white people or Jew people would come over there, you know, with the pretext of they're the people, the lie of they're the people, you know, and rule the world from our territory. Next precept, what we have?
Proverbs chapter 1, 24 through 32. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 24. Because I have called, and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. And when your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge, and did not choose the fear of the Most High. They would none of my counsel, they despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them.
Hey, it's prophecy, people. The prosperity of fools will destroy us. It will slay us. So, the so-called stars and entertainers, whoever the prosperity of these people, it will destroy us. We will follow behind them and not the Most High. We would follow behind people who we think are successful, and it will destroy us. The fools. A fool is one who despises the law, the counsel of the Most High. Okay? That's true success, us following his laws, statutes, and commandments. True prosperity comes from following the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. And true prosperity will not be granted to us in Satan's kingdom. Okay? Next precept.
Deuteronomy 28, 64 through 68. And it reads, And the Most High shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Ask y'all a question. Abraham know anything about Christianity? Jacob ever heard of Islam? But it's plainly telling us that he will scatter us, and we will serve other gods in these lands that we're scattered to. That's a time for people to wake up and understand what he's saying. We will not be. We give her the religions that have been passed down through our parents will not be the true religion. Will not be the doctrine of the Most High. Will not be the culture that the Most High commanded the children of Israel to follow. Okay. Read.
And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Most High shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and a sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life.
No, I mean, as far as to my knowledge, again, the Jew people aren't going through these curses. My people are. Our people are. Right? They are the ones who set up the system with the command of Satan to give the children of Israel no ease. Like I said, we're the only people who've been marching for 40 years and still have no ease, no rest. Okay? No assurance of our life, day and night. Read.
In the morning thou shalt say, Would God it were even, and at even thou shalt say, Would God it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. And the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt or bondage again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
No man shall buy you, no man shall redeem you. No man will take you from a situation with Christ. Right? But the brother said Egypt, he said bondage. So the Bible said we must get understanding through precepts. We give you two precepts to understand what Egypt means. It does not mean that we will go into the land of Egypt again. Okay? Egypt is our own land. Right? Those who know, Ham's younger son Canaan stole our land from Shem. Okay, so Egypt, a lot of Egypt belongs to the children of Israel, but you can't find nowhere in history where, which can. One time, matter of fact, when Ahayah was making us go to serve in Babylon, the king Nebuchadnezzar, we tried to go over to Egypt, but he destroyed us. So this is prophecy. We will return into slavery. Right? This would be a part of the curse, captivity, if we do not hearken to his laws and commandments. But let's get this. Let's go to Deuteronomy 17, verse 16. We get 2 precepts to back that up.
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 16.
Oh, I said, is that equivalent of saying, I wish it was morning and night? And what it is, yeah, brother, it's like sometimes our days would be so bad, you wish that like
the day was over.
The day would be over with, like this would stop. You know what I'm saying? Which also leads us, a lot of people, into drug use. You know, trying to escape the so-called pain. You know? Yeah, but let's get it.
17.
Verse 16.
16.
I'm reading. It says, but he says, this is the command that the Most High was giving us because we wanted a king to serve, not him. Okay? So this is part of the commandment the Most High was giving the children of Israel concerning this king that he was going to give them. It says, but he should not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt. Now, is Most High telling the people to tell the king not to send our people back to Egypt? No. To the end that he should multiply horses, for as much as the Most High should have said unto you, ye shall henceforth return no more that way. What are you talking about? Okay? Slavery. Our kings was not supposed to enslave us. Okay? The servants were of the Gentile nations. The brethren was supposed to treat brethren as brethren, king or not. Okay? So he's not supposed to make the children of Israel serve in hard bondage. Okay? Let's go to Exodus chapter 20, verse 4, 2.
Yep, verse 2.
Ahayah in the bar.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 2. I am Ahayah thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
See, brought in the house of Egypt out of the house of bondage. So Most High saying we're going back into the house of bondage by the way of ships. You can't take a ship from Israel to Egypt. Those who don't know, think about it. Joseph, Mary, Christ. Well, Joseph and Mary in Christ walked to Egypt. He's talking about hard bondage. So because we would not serve the Most High, we would come to the new land, to the Americas, by way of transatlantic slave ships and be sold to our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. Except for all these curses. And no matter what men rose up amongst our brethren, they would not redeem us. Next precept.
Baruch chapter 4 and 5.
In the Apocrypha. So through all this, Baruch is going to give us some touching words to remind us. At that time, we were suffering the captivity of Babylon, and right now we're suffering the captivity of Babylon. To understand why we're suffering, he's going to give us a recap. And also going to talk about the promise. Okay? Ready to?
Baruch chapter 4. And it reads, this is the book of the commandments of God, and the law that endureth forever.
The law that does what?
Endureth forever.
No, Christ won't come and do away with it.
That endureth forever.
It endures forever. Read.
All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die.
So do you get it now? So someone teaching you again not to do the laws and commandments of the Most High is promoting death to you, curses to you. slavery to you. Again, this is why I say Christianity is of the devil. It comes as an angel of light, but brings you death. Islam, doctrine of the devil. Looks good on the outside, but inside it brings you death. Read.
Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated.
Turn ye, O Jacob, O house of Israel, into the light of the Lord, that we may have life eternal. Read.
Give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation. O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing unto God are made known unto us.
We are the only nation of people that the Most High has ever made known the things that please Him. We are the only people He has ever gave His law, statutes, and commandments to. Happy we should be. Therefore, we have a great responsibility to do them. Read.
Be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel. Ye were sold unto the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved God to wrath.
So we were sold. The Most High gave us up and sold us to the nations. Remember, sold as bondmen. He allowed it to happen. Not for them to totally destroy us, but as a form of chastising. So, in the last days like us right now, He sent His Spirit through the air to revive His children, to bring back what's called the captivity of Jacob, to bring us back to remembrance why we're in our situation, why we're suffering, to realize that we have been deceived in these churches. That our responsibilities is to keep the laws. Our responsibility is to only do the things that is pleasing to the Most High. Not to do as the world do. Not to follow the traditions of men. But do all the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, as Christ commands us. Read.
But because ye moved God to wrath, ye were delivered unto the enemies.
We read how we moved Him to wrath through disobedience, rebellion, stiff-neckedness, hard-headedness, following our evil, wicked hearts. Read.
For ye provoked Him that made you by sacrificing unto devils, and not to God.
See, we did so the sacrificing was what? During their holidays. Christmas is a sacrifice to a devil and not to God. He never commanded that. Our sacrifices was unto Him in righteousness, according to what He said and how He said. So when we left and started following other religions, other gods, no matter how we felt in our heart, we were sacrificing, we were serving other gods. Right now today, we're serving other gods, not Him. Read.
Ye have forgotten the everlasting God that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. For when she saw the wrath of God coming upon you, she said, Hearken, O ye that dwell about Zion, God hath brought upon me great mourning. For I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting brought upon them. With joy did I nourish them, but sent them away with weeping and mourning. Let no man rejoice over me, a widow, and forsaken of many, who for the sins of my children am left desolate.
She's left what?
Desolate.
Told you. She's desolate. Majority of our land is desolate. It's not inhabited by those devils. Okay? Told you. Our land is full of mountains. Every time you read the Bible, all you hear is mount this, mount that, mount this, mount this, mount that. Okay? You don't see that. Right?
Because they departed from the law of God. They knew not His statutes, nor walked in the ways of His commandments, nor trod in the paths of discipline in His righteousness. Let them that dwell about Zion come, and remember ye the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting hath brought upon them. For He hath brought a nation upon them from far, a shameless nation.
This nation is shameless. They do lie. They shameless. They don't nothing make them feel bad. They have no, deep down inside, they have no moral value. None. Read.
And of a strange language, who neither reverence old man nor pity child. These have carried away the dear beloved children of the widow, and left her that was alone, desolate without daughters. But what can I help you? For he that brought these plagues upon you will deliver you from the hands of your enemies.
Here's the promise. The same God who sent us over in captivity because we angered him for our disobedience. If we listen to his son, keep his commandments, he will bring us back home again and establish our kingdom and grant us immortality and dominion forever and ever and ever. Read. On earth, that is. Read.
Go your way, O my children, go your way, for I am left desolate. I have put off the clothing of peace, and put upon me the sackcloth of my prayer. I will cry unto the everlasting in my days. Be of good cheer, O my children, cry unto the Most High, and he shall deliver you from the power and hand of the enemies. For my hope is in the everlasting, that he will save you, and joy is come unto me from the Holy One, because of the mercy which shall soon come unto you from the everlasting our Savior. For I sent you out with mourning and weeping, but God will give you to me again with joy and gladness forever. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our God, which shall come upon you with great glory and brightness of the everlasting. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from God, for thine enemy hath persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and shalt tread upon his neck. My delicate ones have gone rough ways, and were taken away as a flock caught of the enemies. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto God.
See, although we're suffering these curses, because we have the accurate knowledge of the truth and we understand why we're suffering, Most High says, be of good comfort. He would redeem us. Okay? Read.
For ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. For as it was your mind to go astray from God, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. For he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy again with your salvation. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice at thy fall. Miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that received thy sons. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin, and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time. O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from the Most High. Lo, thy sons come, when thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west, by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of God.
Y'all, this is, I know every week we gotta touch on that little flea diaper thing. But see how it says that his children will come from the east? And where it says, lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east. See? They come not individually because we got a plane, we flew to this locale, that locale. When we do reach your home and Christ and the angels lead us home, we're gathered together. Mm-hmm. See, that's not like organization right there. Right? It says, they come gathered together from the east to the west by the word or the commandment of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of Ahayah. Right? Chapter 5. Put off, O Jerusalem, the garment of thy mourning and affliction, and put on the comeliness, the beautifulness of the glory that cometh from Ahayah forever. Cast about thee a double garment of the righteousness which cometh from Ahayah, and set a diadem on thy head of the glory of the everlasting. It's time for us to become what, people? Starting right now. Develop the mindset of a regal people. Okay? Look at regal for those who don't know what it is. My phone about to die. It died already. It died. You're playing over there. TJ, you're hungry.
Regal. Of, relating to, or suitable for a king or royalty, or of notable excellence or magnificence.
Or splendor. Right? We can walk around tomorrow, I'm a king, I'm a queen, being prideful. Right? That's what we're doing right now. We're not a king yet. We're not queens yet. Right? But we have the mindset of the excellence. The development of the education of our God is excellence. So right now we are put on that crown, being prepared by Him for our kingdom. Right? When people walk around, you can't do this with me. I'm a king. You don't get killed. Right? Our kingdom has not come yet. It's arriving. It's coming. For Ahayah will show thy brightness unto every country under heaven. Going to show that still, for those Gentiles who think they have replaced us, there's still a difference in our kingdom. Every country will see our brightness, the excellency of God's children. We will be, like I said, blessed in the city, blessed in the field. They will respect us, reverence us. Okay? That's God's people. For God will show thy brightness unto every country under heaven. For thy name should be called of the God forever. The peace of righteousness and the glory of Ahayah's worship. Arise, O Jerusalem, speaking concerning us, and stand on high, and look about towards the east. This is why we pray to the east. We're preparing our mindset to go home. And behold, thy children gathered from the west unto the east by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the remembrance of Ahayah. For they departed from thy on foot. Check this out. For they departed from thee on foot, and were led away of their enemies. But Ahayah bringing them unto thee exalted in glory as children of the kingdom. We departed on foot, and we're coming back on foot. We're coming back in glory to our kingdom. For Ahayah has appointed that every high hill and banks of long continents should be continuance, should be cast down, and valleys filled up, to make even the ground, that Israel may go safely in the glory of Ahayah. There be nothing to harm us on our way home. Do you understand why there's no such thing with flea doctrine? The Bible don't really teach that. Right? We fled Babylon going to Israel. And we walked home. Moreover, even the woods and every sweet-smelling tree shall overshadow Israel by the commandment of Ahayah. For Ahayah shall lead Israel with joy in the light of his glory, with the mercy and righteousness that cometh from him. Angels in the Messiah will lead us home. Right? Next precept. Good. 3 more precepts?
Yeah.
Micah chapter 6, verse 2 and 8. Everyone there? Micah chapter 6, verse 2 reads, Hear ye, O mountains. Hear the highest controversy, and ye strong foundations of the earth. For Ahayah have a controversy with his people, and he will plead with Israel. So he have a controversy, a problem with us, and he will judge us. Verse 8, he has shown thee, O man, what is good. He has given us his law, statute, commandment. He has shown us what is good. And what doeth Ahayah require of thee? So, everyone want to know what their purpose in life is? You're about to find out right now. Okay? What does the Most High require of his children? Right? What do Ahayah require of thee? But to do justly. How do you do justly? Does that mean lean on your own understanding? Doing what you think is good? The only way you can do justly is to keep his laws, to understand what just upright is. Justly means uprightly, righteously, to do righteously, and to love mercy. Not to be a person full of pride and anger and evil and strife. Show your brothers and sisters mercy as we beg for mercy. And to walk humbly with thy God. To walk humbly with thy God. That means follow humbly our God. Keep his commandments. Humbly. You can't walk with the Most High being prideful, because if you're prideful, you're going to do your own thing. Next precept. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 1 through 3. Verse 1 reads, now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments, which Ahayah your God commanded thee to teach thee, that ye may do them in the land whither ye go to possess it, that thou mightest fear the Most High thy God, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee, thou and thy sons, and thy son's son, all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged. See? Come with a promise. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with thee. So if someone teaching you the law is done away with, don't want it to go be well with you. And it hasn't been. See? That ye may increase mightily, as Ahayah your God, the God of your fathers, have promised thee, in the land that floweth with milk and honey. Last precept. Isaiah chapter 42, verse 6 through 7. Not rocket science. Kind of when everyone's there. Isaiah chapter 42, verse 6 to 7 reads, last precept. I, Ahayah, have called thee in righteousness. He called us in righteousness. Gave us the counsel that would make us righteous, that would make us live a life that's pleasing to him. And will hold thy hand. This is a promise from our Heavenly Father, our Creator, our God. I, Ahayah, have called thee in righteousness. So all of us today who have heard the voice, those who have got baptized, those who have not been baptized, he's calling you. He's called us in righteousness. He called us out of filthiness, evilness, wickedness into righteousness. Come into the light. Come into righteousness. Come into his way. And I will hold thy hand and will keep thee. He will guide us. He will protect us. And give thee for a covenant of the people. A contract for the people, for a light of the Gentiles. Can you look at that word light for me? Showing that still it's a difference between Israelites and Gentiles. Alright? Israelites, we're not supposed, again, to learn from other nations. That's why we are in school systems. Our children are suffering like they're suffering because they don't have our best at heart. We're supposed to be teaching them. We're supposed to be their light, their guide. They ain't a guy. They luminous, whatever. A light. Okay? So in this dark place, we're supposed to be a what? Illuminate. As it says, illuminate, right? Luminous, right? It says to give, to show, right? To lighten, right? To shine, so fire, as a guide. So we are the torch, or the light, the lamp, the way that the Gentiles must follow. So if you're a guide, for example, we used this before, I think. If we go on a camping trip, whatever, do we not follow the tour guide? Well, that's the responsibility of Israelite, to be the guide of our own nation and then the Gentiles. We must show the way to salvation. We must show the way to our kingdom, not just to our own nation, but also into the Gentiles. Okay? Verse 6, for I am Ahayah called thee in righteousness, and will hold thy hand and will keep thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light to the Gentiles, to open the blind eyes, see? To bring out the prisoners from the prison, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison house. It's our responsibility, people. Okay? To be used as luminous lights for the Most High. To open the eyes of our people, the blind, those that are in Satan's prison, Satan's world, who fear death day and night, to relieve them with the truth, and do all things for the glory and the praise and the honor of the Most High. With that, concludes our lesson. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. And with that, after that, I would say Godspeed. Brother, you want to announce some things?
Oh, Khan. Just a couple quick announcements. Let me pull up my calendar real quick. In 2.5 weeks, on the day of February the 19th, we'll be getting together at 11 o'clock, 11 a.m. For a close, kind of like just a close giveaway and cook food for the community for the Feast of Purim. So we'll be doing a giveaway and doing food as well. And at 4 o'clock, we'll be having a brief lesson, a brief meeting for the Holy Day. Also, just another reminder for those who can contribute through tithes and offerings. It will be greatly appreciated for the maintenance of the sanctuary and things of that nature. So,
Matt, you want to stop us?
Yep.
We're going to close in prayer and break bread.
Warm and slow, so we can go from another.